Good evening, Speed Gaming fans, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. We made it to the finals, a one-day tournament. You can see it on your screen right now. LordFIzzlebeef and Edgeworth have both been put through the washing machine, as Edgeworth said it earlier. My name is Will Cleosis, and I'm joined by a real generation going on here in the commentary booth. Two of my very favorites, two that I listen to forever. It is such an honor to be here. I cannot tell you how much it is an honor for me. Joining us is Trenton GL, back doing a doubleheader for commentary. Trenton, how are you?
I am doing well. This has been exciting. Our first time trying out this format. I think it might even possibly be the first time this format has been tried for randomizers. So that's really exciting to be here on the beginning of it. Lessons have been learned. I think we'll come back one day and make this even greater than it was today. But what excitement it gave us. And we're joined by somebody who only missed out on this race by about 2.5 minutes, if that. How you doing, Maya?
I'm doing really well, to the both of you and to everybody in Speed Gaming chat. It has been about 8 solid hours now of FFR racing action. And we had close to a dozen racers at the beginning, and we are down to our last two. And they're names that we know very well in this community. We've got LordFIzzlebeef against Edgeworth, and all sorts of fun and excitement coming this evening. Will, do you want to take us through a little bit about what this is going to look like tonight?
Yeah, we've been playing this. It's a knockout type tournament. The idea came from Trenton. Maya, he was the gentleman here with us that really created the flags and really put this whole idea together. There's a couple main things that we're going to be looking for. We don't know if there's going to be a Mazmoon weapon. It's the winner of the best sword in the game. It's versatile. It does a whole lot of things. The Vorpal sword, we don't know. The weapons fixes are off. We don't know how effective that's going to be. The adamant is out there. It will yield an Excalibur. The NPCs are not shuffled, and there's a required war mech. That's what I look like to see of the core tonight in this match. We've been playing it all day. We're going to do it again. We're down to these two. Great players. They've had a break. Edgeworth, of course, the 2018 Spring Tournament champion. We used to call him the Man of Destiny. Now we just call him champion, and he's up against LordFIzzlebeef. LordFIzzlebeef's, I think he wants this, Trenton. He's been playing so well. He's been playing so much. I really like his chances, and I think this is going to be a great match.
You've had a lot of chance to think about your strategy going into here. You've had 5 hours of, did I want to do anything different with my party going into this? We see Edgeworth has brought the white mage, black mage. FIzzlebeef is bringing the triple mage. So it's a very drastic difference in party makeup, and we'll see which one stands victorious at the end.
Yeah, Edgeworth has been practicing and playing a lot with a double fighter, potentially a dual knight strategy. He's sticking with that right now. No forced party members. We haven't done that. Maya, you designed these flags. We got required war mech, no NPC shuffle. It kind of brings us back to, well, a little bit over a year ago, the 144 version of Final Fantasy Randomizer. And to put that in perspective, we're on 2.5 right now.
Yep, and so highlights for this flag are, the goal is to kill chaos, of course, because most good games, the goal is, all NPC shuffling is off, though, and so all of those quest chains are going to be the same. Let's take a peek at magic. Only level 3 harm 4 on in the white magic side, and there's Ice 3 hiding way up at level 8. That's not going to be of use.
Yeah, this is Magic Shop Shuffle. This is not Magic Level Shuffle where you get 4 spells in a certain level in a certain town. That is not it. You saw level 8 spells there. You're going to get access to about 4 towns fairly early, but you're just not going to quite get the levels that you expect. You're going to get different levels and different spells as well. You could have level 1 nuke, and that might be great, but it might be buried in Elfland. And it might take a while to get there.
Looks like rapiers and iron hammers and small knives is all you have at the beginning here. So I'm very interested to see where these runners go first. Free bridge is on in these flags, as well as extended open progression. And so you can make the walk to Provoca or make the walk down to Elfland if you want to.
I'd say the general play under these is going to be try Temple of Fiends, see if there's any kind of roadblock, and if not, that's where you go in another direction. But already it looks like we got route divergence between these two. FIzzlebeef has gone to the bridge. He's heading to Provoca. See what magic is available. With the mages instead of the knights, I think that play makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Edgeworth instead heads directly towards the Temple of Fiends, gets slowed down a little bit by some imps, saves outside, resets, going to take a look at the encounter table, another quick reset. Edgeworth learning the encounter table. LordFIzzlebeef resets himself. He's headed back. He's going the same way over toward Provoca.
So other fun things we get to look for in these flags include impoverished wealth, which is, I think, pretty new to most of our viewers. Impoverished wealth is a setting that was put up by our devs that is going to scramble the content that is in the game so that guaranteed items that you would normally see is in part of Final Fantasy. Things like the Mazmune or really high-level weapons and armors by no means are guaranteed to be seen here during this run.
That's a lot of really good money that Edgeworth finds in Temple of Fiends, over 12k gold. That'll really fund early efforts, and it's going to be a welcome sight. It's not only that nothing's guaranteed, but you might not find a lot of the high-level good stuff. We've seen opal bracelets in both of the seeds today. There's no guarantee that we'll see a third one in this round. We do see that Nuke's at level 5.
Nuke's available at level 5. It's in Provoca. We're going to see how that plays out. But Edgeworth is in trouble. He's fighting Garland. He's got the Iron Hammer. Now he's paralyzed. He's down to 1. He's just his fighter. He's paralyzed. He's going to have to reset. Good news is he's right outside of the Temple of Fiends. Veteran move from the champion, Edgeworth. He's able to reset. He knows the contents of the chest. He knows where that money is up there that Maya just told you about. But he's got to get through Garland and reassess his situation.
Seems like Garland's evade might be up there a little bit, making this difficult. Of course, you only got level 1 stats here, which is not always ideal. We're used to Garland being a pushover because you got some kind of magic that's well above his level.
LordFIzzlebeef is taking on the pirates. Similar situation. He's got to melee them down. It's like we're 12 again, guys.
Well,
so
with
sitting
the
in
safe
Provoca,
pirate flex on, he can definitely get past them. So this is pretty safe. It's good experience, and it gives you the ship.
Life 2 finding in level 4 in Provoca, as well as Nuke sitting in level 5. We do have Hold at level 1. I think that's the only level 1 spell we've seen so far. Hold might be useful later for taking down a large fiend like Carrie, but probably not going to be terribly useful until
Edgeworth took out Garland, took the quick warp, and rescues Princess Sarah. Remember, the NPCs are not shuffled. So you see on the left side of your screen, LordFIzzlebeef picks up the ship from Biggie the Pirate, and Edgeworth got the loot from Princess Sarah.
I was a little surprised Edgeworth didn't go get the gold before taking that warp, but I guess with just the one party member, he wasn't up for the risk.
I've got to think that maybe he passes on Provoca and heads west. Maybe tries to get that gold and heads south after that. It looks like he might be going that way.
I think he's just going back for the gold, but knowing that the ship is there, it's just faster transport, and I don't think you're taking a pass on that when you know Canoe's not going to be available. So,
some other settings for this race this evening. EXP is on the low side at 1.8 times normal. That is going to be increased to 3.6x once you find 15 key items. And the key items are generally, as a general rule of thumb, the items that you find and then the happy music plays. If you find one of those, then you've found one of those key items. Also, loose incentive items that we're looking for this evening. In fact, there's one right now.
There. That's the crown.
There's the crown. So our runners are looking for the crown, and they're going to take that to the kindly old king over in Northwest Castle. We're also looking for a slab. We're looking for the TNT so that we can break out of the inner sea. We're looking for the floater, of course, so that we can cash that in. And then also we have the tail incentivized today and one ribbon. And then our incentive locations for this are just two, the castle at Ordeal and everyone's favorite ice cave.
An interesting thing we've got going on here with the early route divergence. LordFIzzlebeef heads to Matoya with the ship in hand, gets the crown. Now his route is probably in place. But Edgeworth's advantage is that money. He's using it right now. He's picking up saving supplies, softs, heals, pures, whatever it is that he needs. All that money is going to fuel that early. LordFIzzlebeef doesn't quite have that.
Edge is definitely going to be able to get the pirates without trouble, and then he'll have the ship plus the gold. Interesting to see if Fizzlebeef does go to Temple of Fiends from here, in which case they're still on a pretty similar trajectory so far. The
Now,
early crown is interesting because it opens up different options for the TNT to be located at. We might not have a required marsh cave.
That's right. Finding that crown early is going to yield to a quest to get the Mystic Key. Remember, those are not shuffled. The Sleeping Elf Prince will hold that Mystic Key. We'll see what Lord Fizzlebeef decides to do. An update on some of our enemies. Ogres have the Trance skill. Sharks have Glare. And Imps have something as well, but I don't think we're going to see too many more of those. But right now, the quest would be to find the TNT to open up and break out of that inner continent.
We can see Lord Fizzlebeef using extended open progression to his advantage. This is a map change that has been made to Final Fantasy Randomizer so that you can walk all the way to Elfland from the beginning of the game if you have that setting on. I am very curious if we are going to do a crown shuffle and cash that in. How are we going to kill Astos? What do we?
We have a light axe.
Hopes and dreams.
And hopefully he equipped that light axe because it's a lot better than anything else he's got so far.
Harsh language, Maya.
Strongly written letters. Here we go.
Well, he's evading that light axe.
He's using hold. It's a low percentage play. Astos has very high M defense. He's going to continue attack for 1 damage. Firing hold again, and he got him. Paralyzed. His attack has been halted. Lord Fizzlebeef can now tee off on Astos. We question
Already
this.
woken up. You only got the 1 turn.
Astos trying to fight back into Lord Fizzlebeef. This is a big move early. He lost one of his red mages. He's out of spells on his black mage. Down goes the fighter. He has to reset. And he's all the way back at Canaria.
That's a long walk. He's probably going to go back to Dwarf Cave to grab that money. And then a trip to Elfland might be in order here. There are 4 magic shops, 2 black, 2 white waiting in Elfland. More weapons, more armor. You might have some more options to take Astos down.
We'd like to welcome to the chat Shubinator, RD Platypus, Palome BM, certainly one of my favorites, OG Chitin 619. There's a Terralyn sighting. Spent so much time working on crew in Final Fantasy Randomizer. Always a pleasure to see you, Football 916. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Sunday evening here in the United States and in the Eastern Time Zone, just past 8 p.m. This is the finals. Lord Fizzlebeef and Edgeworth of a 1-day tournament designed by Ick and Maya. They've been playing all day, trying to get to this point. Who will be the first ever Final Fantasy Randomizer 1-day tournament champion? We're going to find out in about a little over 2 hours, maybe? Somewhere in there?
If we're lucky. Hopefully it's not free.
You have truly run the gauntlet to earn this one. Just to get here, the in-game time has been, I believe, over 5 hours combined for these runners between the 2 races. I'm talking about each of them individually has put in 5 hours just to start this race. It has definitely been a gauntlet they've gone through to get here.
And the gloves have come off with this flag set. This is an expert level flag set that are going to make these 2 runners have to think quite hard throughout the entirety of this race. Scaling for this race, enemies are scaled between 33 and 300% of normal. And if you don't think 300% of normal matters, Sahags or any one of those little old enemies at the beginning of the game suddenly become terrible creatures at 300%. And then to top that off, the bosses in this game are clamped. And clamped means is that they will be at 100% all the way up to 230% of normal. And you have not seen terror until you have seen a Carry one or a Kraken one take a hold of a party if they roll up there.
To answer a question in chat, the question mark characters, that is where we notate when a forced character is being used. In the flag set we have tonight, no party member has been forced. It's your choice, except the black belt is not allowed.
More update on enemies. Ogres have Fire 2, along with Trance. Asps have Blizzard. So these overworld enemies, not too horribly dangerous. A reset and some good saving and good encounter manipulation away. It shouldn't be too bad. Lord Fizzlebeef is headed back. He's backtracking a little bit. He needs money. He knows that. He's gone to the right place. He's going to get about 13,000 gold here in the Temple of Fiends that he skipped earlier.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit behind when Edgeworth got through everything, but I don't think Edgeworth has gone to pick up that crown yet, so he's a little bit behind in that aspect. Does he wait until he gets the herb? Or does he do an unforced marsh dive without knowing it?
You know what? That's what it looks like. It looks like, Trenton, what Edgeworth is doing is the 1-4-4 meta. He's checking right now. He's checking the Dwarf Cave. He's looking for the TNT. He's going to check these two chests. We'll see if he resets and heads directly to Elfland, because that was how it was done last year. It could be stuck in that because he did not check Patoya.
So it's a bit of a 50-50 switch at this point. Key lock chests, there are 23 key lock chests that you can reach at the beginning of the game from where our runners are right now. Marsh Cave is going to have 13 on its own that you don't, or 10 that are unlocked that Edgeworth can check. And so we're probably looking for the all-important TNT since Crown has been found.
I take that all back. Edgeworth does have the crown. He's learning the encounter table, looking at resetting and saving. Meanwhile, LordFIzzlebeef trying to take out Garland. He didn't have to do this early. The NPCs, again, they're not shuffled. Princess Sarah's going to give the loot, but Garland's kind of sticking it to Fizzlebeef right now with that stun touch.
Stun, the hold is paying off. It kept Garland from doing too much damage. The unfortunate thing about this is when you have Spell Shop Shuffling, every time you see a spell, it's a question mark. Okay, that looks good, but what else is available on this level that I might want from another shop down the line? Am I willing to make the risk on buying this spell?
We see Edgeworth going through the spell shops. Lightning 3 is available at level 3. Temper is available at level 4. About 1/4 of all the magic in this game is going to be located right here in Elfland. There's Exit. That's level 6.
I'm just going to write that one down.
Big, huge spell, but nothing really early. Confuse Quad X at level 2, very strong. We see Bane at level 5 as well. Quad X at level 2, it was probably going to get a workout from Edgeworth, one of his favorite spells.
You asked before, what are we going to kill Astos with? Quad X is certainly something that can get the job done. It only takes your enemy being less than 300 hit points, and it will automatically work.
LordFIzzlebeef has backed off. It looks like his aggressive early approach. He's headed towards Elfland right now. He's going to find that Quad X. Both our players pretty synced up. Maya very evenly matched so far, from what I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Edgeworth is making the run westward. Now we're going to find out whether or not he's going to go up to Astos or if he's going over to an early Marsh Cave.
I would feel really bad about a Marsh Cave play if I have the alternative. He's checking his spell list to be sure he has that Quad X. Now, it's no guarantee that Astos' HP is going to be low enough right at the start, but I'd open with it, try it, and reset if it doesn't.
You see the pause? You hear the pause in the music? LordFIzzlebeef, left side of your screen. We are using his audio. He saw those spells, and he wrote them down. He's taking good notes of those. He sees heal 3 at level 7. He's not going to wait too long with this. Maybe he is. He's going to move on. Edgeworth taking on Astos. Misses. Fires a Quad X. Is it good? It is. Erased and terminated. Edgeworth is our first player to take out Astos. That's going to net him the crystal.
And that is a great source of early experience. You see what it does to Edgeworth's levels, shooting his party up to level 5, and it's that many more spell charges if you have to make the Marsh Cave dive.
I'm trying to think, Maya, you've been in a couple of these matches, you practice it, you designed this thing. If you're in this situation, if you're up against an Edgeworth, a LordFIzzlebeef, Tristal MTG, I saw him in the chat, do you consider making that move to Marsh Cave at all? And passing on the keylock chest, hoping to make a move against an incredible player?
No, I would not. I would do it last. The odds are is that if you're finding Crown early, that means odds on TNT are hiding behind that. You have a ship, you can sail back and forth and cash in this Crown to Crystal to Herb chain pretty quickly. And then there are a whole host of free chests you can check. There are 4 in Elfland's castle. There are 6 in Canaria. There's another 3 in Temple of Fiend's right side. There are 8 waiting for you in Dwarf Cave, 10 actually, with the unlocked ones. Chances are, go do those first. You're going to find resources, and you're going to find money, and you're going to find hopefully a TNT. And look at this, we are synced.
Holding hands on the boat, sailing through the intercontinent waters. Welcome to Final Fantasy Randomizer. If you have not seen us before, stop by our Discord. We'll see if we can get some links into the chat. Final Fantasy Randomizer also has that link as well, and all the fun things that we do. It's been great. We're right here on Speed Gaming, one-day tournament. These are our 2 finalists. They've been playing for hours and hours. My name is Will Cleosis. I am joined by my 2 idols, Triton GL and Ikbin Maya, the creator of this one-day tournament. We're seeing how this goes. First time we've done it. Maybe we'll do it again.
It's been a lot of fun to see this on display. We're getting to see a lot of great play out of these runners. And just to back up to the other big reason to do the crown chain now is that lack of resources that Maya mentioned.
Hooray!
We really don't have a good weapon right now. Hooray! We don't have a good weapon right now. We've got the light axe, but that's only 1 fighter. And we don't really have spells that are going to go very far in Marsh Cave. So I really like the idea of looking for better equipment. Because there's a lot of unpleasant stuff in that Marsh Cave. We all know it.
And the light axe will definitely help. Shadows, there's zombies in there as well. But the light axe ain't going to help you much against scorpions. They'll help you against the bones, but not quite the crawls. Once again, we'd like to thank Dang Wu helping us out on tracking. He's along with Zardia. They're behind the scenes right now, working feverishly with, we're trying to get updates. We're working on fixing the tracker for you fans as soon as we can. Right now, we found the crown loose in Matoya. Of course, Bicky gave us the ship and Sarah the loot. We're on a quest to find the TNT.
It's kind of interesting. Fizzlebeef and Edgeworth are taking different approaches to actually cashing this in. Fizzlebeef ran down from the north to go kill Astos, now is headed back in the opposite direction to his ship. Edgeworth is staying to if by sea, so to speak, and just sailing back.
A question in chat about weapons crit rate, and we are playing with the vanilla rule set on the crit rate. So that means Masamune's going to be number 1, Excalibur's going to be number 2, etc., just like it is the vanilla game. It is one of the bug fixes available in the randomizer that you can turn on or off. So often we will play with the corrected crit values, asterisks, but we're not doing that today. Today the weapons are critting the same way they do in the vanilla game.
And you know, that actually has a couple of considerations. Cat Claw, for example, suddenly leaps up in importance. You're going to get 6 hits with a knight at level 40 wielding a Cat Claw, or 7 if you take them all the way up to level 50. And a Cat Claw is guaranteed. There's going to be a shop selling them somewhere. And so you're never going to be without good equipment in these impoverished seeds. You may, however, need to save your pennies in order to afford that nice weapon and armor.
Yeah, and we talked about it right in the beginning of the show. The last 2 matches that we've had, the knockout of this tournament, Mazmoon was never found. Was it out there in an off chest that no player found? Possibly. But it wasn't there. What we do know we will find is the adamant. It's going to be somewhere. It will lead to the Excalibur. With those weapon fixes off, the Excalibur, very powerful, even more powerful than with the weapons fixes on.
Right, Edgeworth is checking these locked chests. He's in Cornerian now. He's found a saw potion, which is not a bad pickup, but not quite what you're looking for. It does save you usually around 800 gold.
LordFIzzlebeef taking on the ogres and the creeps. You know, the ogres have Fire 2 and Trance, using Quad X to get through them. Edgeworth is on foot. I believe he's headed to the Temple of Fiends. Notice what he did right there. On the right-hand side of your screen, Edgeworth saved at the junction. He's going to go in, check these 2 chests, try to find something good. If he doesn't like it, he can just reset. He'll actually be back at the junction so that he can walk over to the Dwarf Cave and its 10 locked chests.
Gargoyles unrunnable. That's not the nicest thing that could ever happen, but it also means they can't ambush you. That was very key in the last race where we found out just how nice the Agamas could be. They were unrunnable, so there was no way for them to ambush you, and they were not that bad on HP, so they were very good for levels.
Edgeworth trying to get through these gargoyles. He does. LordFIzzlebeef wakes the prince. He's going to get his mystic key just a little bit behind Edgeworth. I missed what Edgeworth got in the first chest, but we'll be able to see what's in these two. Is the
Just
TNT
a sword that came up short.
a short sword? And these gargoyles, they can hit you really hard in the early game if you don't have at least a bracelet or something equipped. They can definitely do some damage, but Edgeworth's making quick work of them.
Yeah, that light axe is doing work. That was by far the best weapon we have found so far. Edgeworth is going to reset out of this because I don't think he wants to take a third attempt with those guards.
Yeah, the rewards were just not worth it. It was a very minuscule amount of gold that we don't need at this exact moment. If he had picked up like a better weapon or better piece of armor, that would have been a different consideration. But also the healing that he doesn't have to do because of resetting is a factor.
Large percentage option that Edgeworth finds the TNT here in the locked dwarf cave. LordFIzzlebeef is headed that way as well. He's going to stop off at the Northwest Castle. There's 3 chests there. Let's see what Edgeworth gets. He gets a ribbon.
Ooh.
Impoverished Sea, 12,000 gold as well. Riches, another 5,000. Another 3. An Aegis shield as well. He's got 2 fighters, remember.
Oh, look
pretty,
at that.
Yeah, pretty good. And there it is.
So
Dynamite find for LordFIzzlebeef.
2 important factors here, and Fizzlebeef is showing us one of them. Not only the TNT being in here, so Marsh not required, that we know of, but the light axe can do damage against these mummies. This could be a very good spot to pick up early levels.
20,000 gold, add that to it. Edgeworth is going north. Edgeworth is not going to walk down to the Northwest Castle. I expected that via his routing.
It may just be a byproduct of how far away the ship is and he wants to relocate, but I don't see any possibility he's going to go to Marsh Cave first. I think we'll see that same junction save play. They'll save like at the halfway point, go to Northwest first.
I expected Edgeworth to save just outside of the dwarf cave, go down, check the 3 in Northwest Castle. The dynamite that is there. If it wasn't there, he would have reset, but Edgeworth wants to save and he wants to do some shopping, it looks like, instead.
You know, I'm going to be very interested to see what LordFIzzlebeef does now. He's going to cash that TNT in, but I really do hope he checks those 8 chests because there's a ribbon sitting there. And then after that, you know, the world opens up to LordFIzzlebeef. He's going to have a lot of different options.
Right now, what they have found is the crown. They have gone through the chain, picked up the key. LordFIzzlebeef has turned that into the TNT. Edgeworth has not gotten to the TNT as of yet. That is our progression so far.
Looks like he's headed there right now, though. LordFIzzlebeef fires Quad X to get past the ogre. Closing in, just trying to get to Elfland and save encounter after encounter. The Geists have gaze, add them to the list of these early game enemies that have a lot of skills and a lot of spells. Question in chat. Mike's gaming experiments. Good to see you. I saw you just the other day, Mike. Thank you for joining us again. Is X4 worth getting? It depends on who you ask. Does it work? Yes. Is there a large range for it to be useful? Most people would say probably not really. I'm a fan. Brilliant and Insane is a big fan. It can be used in certain situations, yes. But most people would say probably not.
Here's Edgeworth in Astos Castle. He's about to find his TNT. And he's gonna. Will he check out the trap tile is my question. He doesn't, he's done.
So just a heads up for what everybody's seeing on screen here. The tracker is kind of working, but the buttons that you press on the tracker appear to light other things up. And so this is going to be a bit of a process of elimination. So we appreciate your patience. We're working behind the scenes to get this ironed out.
Speed Gaming's got a dedicated crew who does so much for so many games. We're happy to partner with them, and we know they're working to make this as good as possible. So Edgeworth picked up the TNT. They're on even footing there, but Fizzlebeef has turned it in. Edgeworth has not yet. Now, I mentioned an asterisk on Marsh Cave being required. We know that it's not required to get out of the inner sea. But we know there's going to be a couple of loose things in the world. Is one of them hanging out down in the marsh cave? That we do not know yet.
So Will and Trenton, after you cash this TNT in, where would your next stop?
I gotta go get the canoe.
Yeah, you want to see the magic shops in Crescent Lake. You don't really have a lot going right now. You want to see maybe a fade, something like that, an ice 3, something to do some more damage, to move it along, get some experience going, because both our players are at pretty low levels. So you want to do that and get the canoe and, really go from there. I mean, Edgeworth is right around level 8, I think.
I think there's something to be said for checking the chests that are at the top of Earth Cave. Level 1, the first level of Earth Cave is pretty nearby. It's a pretty easy run over from Melmond itself. Things tend to hide there. I have had a lot of luck running these flags, taking a peek over there. But yeah, after that, I think you're headed up to Crescent Lake.
Yeah, and after getting the canoe, Braxis Muse, he was in the knockout earlier today. It finished, I think it was 6th or 7th, somewhere in there. He would go to Ordeals, the Castle of Ordeal, after picking up the canoe. That's an incentivized location. Gives you, another also dozen chests or so. That's a very strong play early on.
Fast at level 6, so is Ice 2, so's Fire 2, a crowded level.
So, as a runner, I'm happy to see that Temper has landed at level 4 and Fast has landed at level 6. That means that you're going to have charges of both of those as you go down into Temple of Fiends Revisited. In our races earlier today, Fast fell at level 8 in all of them, which was just off.
Max plus Pi joining us in chat and pointing out that Melmond was pretty disappointing. Well, some
Why
things
do you
never
repeat
change.
yourself like that? Hey, by the way, we had another question in chat about best classes, and my answer to that is situationally dependent. When it comes to just killing one of the final bosses, nothing's going to top a high-level black belt. We know that, and that's one of the reasons why they were not allowed in this flag set today. But that's not to say that the black belt's going to complete the game the fastest. Sometimes you're just better off with a mage party that's able to chew through everything so much faster.
LordFIzzlebeef using the light axe to take out some Geis. But where is he, Maya?
Oh, Lord Fizzlebeef, I believe he was still in town. Wow, Melmond has gotten rough.
Oh, things are not very good.
Zozo-like? Those familiar with FF6, of course, the town of Zozo had random encounters. We have a flag called Zozo Melmond.
That is obviously turned on for this. No sign of the Adamant quite yet. Both players are going to want that Excalibur. A Masmoon is not guaranteed at all. So no sign of that as well. Ribbons, we've had one ribbon. It was locked in the Dwarf Cave. That's good. Both our players have that. Both players have the TNT. We're nearing the 30-minute mark. I'd like to update you that the crown was loose and it was found in Matoya's cave, really by both players. The fetch quest was done. The Mystic Key is in both players' hands. And the Dynamite TNT was located in Northwest Castle in the locked chest. Both players have that. Lightning 3 is level 3. Temper's level 4. Magic Shop Shuffle is on. Level 5 has Nuke. It's over in Provoca. Life 2 is at level 4. We'll keep an eye on that for later on.
Silver bracelets being picked up by Edgeworth for his mages. They were pretty cheap too. They were less than 2,000 a piece. So that was nice to see.
The bottle was also for sale here in Crescent Lake. Cure 4 is level 2. That's
Jackpot.
fantastic news.
That makes those fighters, especially if you can find the tail later. Those knights are going to have access to Cure 4 at level 2. That's
It's a great thing to have. Both LordFIzzlebeef and Edgeworth, the final two remaining in this one-day knockout tournament, are both wandering around Crescent Lake. They'll visit the... They used to stand in a circle, Maya. That's you over there on the left. I know Edgeworth is on the right. But this is not shuffled. One of these gentlemen that's off their meds will yield the canoe, and now the world really starts to open up.
Some things we do not necessarily for the purpose of randomization, not necessarily for the purpose of difficulty, but just because we like to have fun.
I happen to think I look great in pink.
Anything's better than green. Go blue.
Oh.
Silver sword pickup for LordFIzzlebeef. He's got the light axe on the fighter and 2 silver swords on both of his red mages. He's gearing up for a run. Edgeworth is in the river system. I gotta think he's headed towards the volcano.
It makes sense. We've also been able to pick up Quake at level 1, so a little more magic to be able to get through things. Kind of interested that Edge didn't look for a Pete fight to test out Quake against them and see what he could get.
And also an update, Dengwu behind the scenes letting us know, we believe Edge bought the bottle. So he's got that as well. Key items, Maya. Is it 12 or is it 15? And tell us about the flag on that for key items and experience boost, please.
Sure. So boost is not very good at the beginning of the match. It's only going to be 1.8x times normal. But once you find 15 key items, things like the ship, the floater, the bottle, turn that in for the oxyale, and so on and so forth. Once you find 15 key items, your experience is going to double per encounter. And so our runners are going to want to hold off on a grind until they find 15 key items. Otherwise, it's going to take them twice as long.
A little bit about the history of these two players. I looked through very sparingly. I didn't have much time between shows. But to my knowledge, LordFIzzlebeef and Edgeworth have not played one-on-one. I can tell you this, I had to play both of these guys in the 2018 spring tournament, and it was not easy preparing for how fast they are and how well both of them adapt to changing conditions and everything that it is that they do, given magic spells, how is the encounter table, the way that they adjust. Both players very difficult to prepare for.
It looks like we got some nice route divergence going on. Edgeworth is in the volcano. LordFIzzlebeef says, I'll look at that incentivized chest in Castle. Actually, he's going on rack. He's going to the magic shops first.
Or deals?
I really like this play. Go and see what magic is available at OnRack, especially since Exit was pretty high leveled, if I recall correctly. We have not seen Warp as far as I know, and finding an early Warp at a low level might be a game changer.
Who else did I have to... Oh gosh, what was that?
That was a fire elemental that had zap. Edgeworth runs away instead of resets out, and he's rewarded with the tail.
Wow, the tail is loose. It's in the hairpin chest. A lot of players skip that chest, and I can tell you this, I know LordFIzzlebeef does.
Well, you're going to have to break
that
it
is
off.
one he could have easily never found. If that zap had been 100% successful, he might have never gone back to that chest.
You know who else I had to play in that 2018 spring tournament, Maya? I owe you one, buddy.
Go green.
All right. Edgeworth's still roaming around the volcano. LordFIzzlebeef checks it out. There's Fade. It's at level 5. You can see him again pausing and taking notes. I missed the black magic shop. Trenton, did you see it?
Nothing special. Fire. I didn't see anything else noteworthy.
No sign of lamp yet. I haven't seen it. I got the notes open to take a good look at that one.
There was a question about NPC shuffle, by the way, and while that is a flag we normally play with at this point since it came out, that was turned off today. So we're doing the vanilla NPC items, but those can be shuffled just the same as everything else at this point. Chat would also like to know, what is the tail? Tail enables class change. Which, if you're going to equip the best weapon that is guaranteed in this seed, the Excalibur, you're gonna need that class change.
LordFIzzlebeef is taking fights outside of OnRack. He's trying to get levels for, I believe it's a spell charge of something. I think. We'll see what he does.
It's possible he's chasing that. On the other hand, this is just really good experience that's right next to an inn.
It's true.
So it does look like Edgeworth suffered a wipe trying to get out of this volcano, and the tail went right back into its chest again. I do not see it in his inventory.
I gotta think in that case you'd go ahead and try and do the volcano first. Especially if you end up doing an Agama grind, you can get your levels and be that much more durable and basically guaranteed to clear the fire later on. There's no urgency to getting the tail right at this moment.
Oh, Edgeworth's cleaning out the armory area, and he picks up another ribbon. That's 2 ribbons. That could be the only 2 in this match. There could be 4. There could be 6. It is impoverished. Odds are those are going to be the only 2. We don't know. Is one incentivized, Maya? Is there a third one?
There is
Or did
one
you just lose?
incentivized ribbon in the pool, so there might be a third one sitting in Ordeal or Ice Cave. But we have already found TNT, Crown, and Tail. That only leaves Floater, Slab, and Ribbon that we have yet to find.
Edgeworth also found out that you can kill those Grey Worms with a Quad X. That's something he might take advantage of.
LordFIzzlebeef has made his way to the waterfall. 3 of his warriors were stunned, and he gets a hero runaway from his black mage. Now he's going for the robot, and there's 6 chests in here. Again, the NPCs are not shuffled. This will be the cube. This is not a play hoping to get a floater or anything like that. It's going to be the cube along with 6 chests.
Chad would like to know, why isn't the commentary in the Fanish? Who says it's not?
Lupa?
You have to go Speed Gaming / Lupa for that, though.
A very good second floor volcano that Edgeworth has dug out. There's a loose tail. He got a couple copper bracelets and a ribbon as well. Very strong. Meanwhile, LordFIzzlebeef continues to traverse the waterfall on his way to pick up a cube and 6 chests, using Lightning 3 starting to close in. He's level 10 now.
So I assume he was able to get a charge of level 6 from the grinding. We get a quick out-of-bounds bat sighting down there.
Smart to save up here before he goes into this battle with 5 whiz mummies, 2 mummies, and 2 cockatrices. Look out.
Well, one of them had hold and paralyzed the fighter. He's down on one knee. He's going to fire
really
a couple lightnings.
Because it's the light axe, but this is a great big pile of experience.
It is. It gets a lightning 3 off, but it's not going to take out any of the wizard mummies. It's going to get the birds. But
Got
he loses his
190
evasion.
on the Wiz Mummies, so this Lit 3 should clear out most of them, I think.
Nothing. He needs to get off. He needs initiative. He gets it. This third light 3 takes out, looks like most of them.
I guess I saw the wrong number on one of them. There's Chat with the out-of-bounds bats. So it's a very
2000.
rewarding encounter to get past.
You know,
2000.
his reward is going to be he has to do this fight again if he's trying to run out of here.
Not if he has exit, which I think he does.
I hope he does.
I believe that was what he was taking those fights outside of Onrak for. I think he was trying to get a spell charge. Meanwhile, on Edgeworth's screen, we saw the Peds. The Peds have glare. We know the Sharks had glare. There's a power gauntlet pickup for LordFIzzlebeef, so it looks like glare could be on a Medusa script scenario for this match.
Oh, here we go
He's
again.
gonna have to walk it out, but he's not ambushed this time.
Wizard mummies are assaulting LordFIzzlebeef. He's going to try. There's the hold again. His fighter gets paralyzed. Again, he lost the light axe. He's going to fire Quake. Fell into Crack. Gets a couple of them. Earth Elemental starting to work on these undead mummies. He gets about half the pile. Very effective and great play from LordFIzzlebeef trying to get out of this encounter.
That was just tremendously successful.
Well done.
Got them all. Took 4 quakes, but it did the job.
In case you're wondering, in case you're new to Final Fantasy Randomizer, maybe you're new to speed gaming and Twitch in general, it's plays like that got LordFIzzlebeef to this championship match for this one-day tournament. Very well done, but he's still got to get the walk out of here, but he's in much better shape than he was before.
Drossi asking a great question in chat. Where can we look up the settings for this race? I'm going to put that in chat right now so that you can go to our beta site and look at the flags that our runners are running.
Edgeworth stepping out of the volcano. Looks like
Leaving.
he's got a party member to recover.
Yeah. This is what Edgeworth did the last couple matches. For him to get to this title match, he made the same exact moves. He lost his top fighter to Glare from the Peds. We'll see where he goes next. Still no sign of a floater. We're nearing the 45-minute mark. We have not seen Ice Cave. We have not seen the Castle of Ordeal. Two very strong locations, potentially, for the location of that floater.
Yep, both of them have incentive items hiding. One is being guarded by the eye, the other is being guarded by zombie dragons. There we go. I can use.
I've got to think Lord Fizzlebeef heads to the Castle of Ordeal next. He's in the area. But what do you do if you're Edgeworth? Do you make a play on Ice Cave here, Triton? Do you feel comfortable?
I caught on the idea that I really want to get to the Agama tiles, because if I can get level 16, I know that starts to break things open the rest of the way. I probably am overly fixated on that, but that incentivized chest in Ice Cave, that really is the next best play to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least to attempt it and see if we can get in.
We'll see what both players do. Edgeworth restocking on supplies, bringing up his light warriors. Quadex from Lord Fizzlebeef taking out the wings. He heads back to Onrak. We know the bottle is the vendor item that will yield the Oxyale. That has not been changed. Sea Shrine is not an option here, as much as you want to dive it so early, as some players would do. I don't know why.
They might go for the mermaid stockpile, all the stuff they've got in there.
Lord Fizzlebeef also taking advantage of the nice high EXP enemies up here on these northern continents. Grab a few extra levels. He's already at 13 for some of them. That's really nice.
A question from chat from Algernon has been answered by Steptibus, one of our developers, but it's certainly a good thing to talk about real quick. Are the Castle Ordeal teleporters shuffled? Yes, they are in this match. And has the soft block been fixed? It has. It was fixed right around April or May of last year, and I want to give credit to who did it. I can't remember. It might have been you, Septimus, or Tardipan, but that has been fixed.
We have so many great devs, and they all tend to work on something different at once, so we get these amazing things just drop when we aren't even expecting it. And the only downside is it makes it hard to sometimes credit the right person.
Yeah. The Confused Old Men was certainly done by Nitz. We've done the story on stream before. We'll do that again sometime, of how that came about, the idea of it. Cooperative mode was done by Meridian BC. So many different developers and so much work and so much passion that goes in from the development, from broadcasting, from leadership as well in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. A great group of people. FinalFantasyRandomizer.com has the link. We'll see if we can get one in chat as well. Come join us. We do new player matches. We do them pretty much once a week. Never know. You could be joining the community and be in a new player match and have Trenton, Cleosis, perhaps Ip and Maya calling your match next week.
We've got a runner high five here in Castle Ordeals. We do often leave Sundays to our new players, but we worked in this one-day tournament on this Sunday. Next week, we look forward to having the new player showcase yet again. Question, are they even at the moment? Slight edge to Fizzlebeef, I would say, because of picking up the cube, picking up the power gauntlet, and seeing the other spells, plus the levels. So he's been able to accomplish a little more than Edgeworth has right now.
And the things that Edgeworth has accomplished is he knows where a loose tail is, and it's off to the side, that's guarded, and he also knows the armory and has a ribbon, and he's got that in hand. So that would be Edgeworth's advantage as well. Lord Fizzlebeef with a dungeon done, though. We'll call the waterfall certainly a dungeon. That's done. He's got the cube in hand. Meanwhile, Edgeworth is able to get through the pillar shuffle maze. He's onto the final floor, moving into the trap tile, which is the Nightmares.
The Nightmares are generally not going to be very high HP enemies, but where they usually are unfortunate is their evasion.
I don't believe we have a access to an Ice 3 spell, or even an Ice 2 spell. Sometimes we'll take them out. That's their weakness, and it does look like Edgeworth is just going to run.
Yeah, and had they been unrunnable, it would have been more of a problem for Edgeworth. One common thing that I didn't know for quite a long time, Nightmare's M defense and immunities are off the charts. You cannot Quad X a 1 HP Nightmare. Quad X will not work against them.
Thorhammer sighting, not only will it cast Lit 2 with weapon fixes off, it has a critical hit rate of about 36%. There's our slab. That's a required item that we needed. Hiding here in Ordeals. You could put a Thorhammer on a knight and do some real damage.
Also, it is unlimited casts of Lit 2, very useful for that purpose. And we found an Opal armor, which is probably the best defense that we have found for a knight in today.
All day.
We found
All
an
day,
Opal armor and an Aegis shield. That, I think, by far is the best defense we found.
Edgeworth got into Castle of Ordeal after LordFIzzlebeef. He is out before him with the slab in hand. I can't think that going to Melmond and translating it is of any type of priority right now. I've got to think it's either what Triton would like to do, perhaps at some Agama fights in the volcano, or that incentivized ice cave.
Yep, and
I actually think from where he is, it'd make more sense to go to Onrak and do the waterfall play, much like Fizzlebeef did. When you're already on the north side of the map, I like that routing call.
chances are very high at this point that Floater is hiding in the incentive location in Ice Cave, being guarded by the Eye, which would be vanilla. However, there is an outside chance still that there could be a ribbon hiding there, at which point Floater would be free somewhere in the world, and we would have to go on the wild goose chase to find it. It does look like Edgeworth is going to give us that information here presently.
As we keep getting along, we're nearing the 50-minute mark in this match right now. The chances of Marsh Cave being required, or even perhaps desired, gets slimmer and slimmer. Edgeworth is heading towards the Ice Cave. It's been a problem all day. It's been a problem since we were kids. Will it be a problem for Edgeworth here? Let's find out.
We have had some monstrous ice caves in practice for these flags, and also today. We had Strike First Blizzard Wraiths, packs of 6 of them, just completely obliterating poor runners. It takes a lot of endurance sometimes to get through.
It's always fun to see people come out and enjoy these races. Our dev team keeps trickling in here one at a time. Now Meridian joins us in chat.
Meridian BC, we were just talking about him, the creator of Co-op and all the work that he's done. We have the best dev team around, Trenton. They are just the best.
I wholeheartedly agree. So, again, what we're doing today, it's a one-day tournament. We started at a little after 1 o'clock. There was unlimited entry. Anybody who wanted to be a part of it, all you had to do was join. We narrowed it down to an Elite 8, which actually ended up being a spectacular 7. Then we got our final 2, and here they are. LordFIzzlebeef and Edgeworth has survived the knockouts. Now they do battle. I was a little surprised earlier that Edgeworth didn't kill a second one of the zombie dragons, since they seem to be low HP. I wonder if Fizzle will do any of that, but his levels are a little better.
Yep, Fizzle taking some time to help control the zombie dragon population. He is done now with his slab, and I have to figure he will probably go to Ice Cave next as well. Edgeworth meeting the images and wraiths, everyone's favorite Ice Cave.
Yeah, some of the other players that participated in the knockout earlier today are here with us as well. Tarnan, I see you over there. Len the Cat was in this. Braxis Muse, yourself, Ikman Maya, a whole host of other people that were, eliminated to get to these final 2. LordFIzzlebeef and the champion, Edgeworth, tonight right here on Speed Gaming.
It is always a pleasure to see so many people watching this 35-year-old game now being run. Maybe not 35. I don't think we're that old. But if you are interested in picking up this randomizer, It is simultaneously very easy to learn and very hard to master, and will get under your skin. And so we'll put the link to our Discord in there. Also a link to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com where you can start running these as well. Edgeworth is starting to get to some chests here, so it'll be very interesting to see what he finds.
We know in the middle is the incentivized chest. The eye guards it. We don't have warp to bypass it. The nice thing about Randomizer is you almost always are going to get a nicer ice cave than you did back playing the vanilla game.
That's right, those sorcerers, back when we were kids, they would touch you and just fall on the ground, and that's what happens. It's called Death Touch, that's what we call it. It gets randomized to a different enemy in the game. Could be imps, could be great peeds, could be chaos, could be Tiamat. You never quite know, it's going to pop up out of nowhere. Maybe it doesn't pop up, but it is in the game.
The other thing about it, though, is it was actually very bugged in vanilla, so that it was basically guaranteed to work. And that's been corrected with the bug fixes that they have done to make the experience even better. So now it's more in the percentage chance that it's supposed to have. The enemy has to actually hit you.
Edgeworth making good use of that light axe. He's got the light axe on Rosa, his white mage, trying to get through here, that just got dazzled and stunned, but he's going to be able to take out this eye mage very quickly. Meanwhile, LordFIzzlebeef is in the river system. He's on his way to the ice cave as well.
Gonna go visit some frost dragons. We'll see if they're runnable or not. No, they like to strike first.
So they're not. They couldn't have been unrunnable from the ambush. They're an interesting enemy. Sometimes they're really easy, decent source of good resources. Other times they're just unpleasant. They're hitting a little too hard, so I'd say they're on the unpleasant side today.
Shout out again behind the scenes, Dang Wu, first time tracking. Messaged earlier today, how can I help tonight for this great show? I want to be part of this. I said, jump on crew, because this is the greatest crew with Ikben Maya and Trenton GL, and writing things down behind the scenes, working on the tracker. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to working with you so much more in the future as LordFIzzlebeef is about to enter the ice cave, and Edgeworth continues the use of that light axe to get through. He's headed down towards the 6 Frostwolf, 6 chest area.
This is one of those really good dungeons to have Harm 2 for. That stuff is not out of level for it, and it can make a lot of headway.
Uh-oh. Frostwolves living up to their
oh
billing.
Boy. Ice 2 from the Frostwolves. They aren't using a lot of it. Rosa gets away. That white mage has been the MVP for Edgeworth so far in this match.
Chad would like to know, was the Peninsula power fixed or not? Well, it's the same as vanilla, but
It's not. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's a feature.
yeah. That's also something I don't think you could change, because the encounters are based on zone mapping, and that's a whole different animal. However, they have come up with new features that enable you to randomize monsters across zones. We don't use that very often, but it is a thing that is out there.
LordFIzzlebeef was going to run away from this pack, changed his mind. Gets his black mage stunned, going to fire a lightning 3. He's going to take out most, if not all, of this undead pack. Meanwhile, a Quad X from Edgeworth takes out a Frost Giant. Nice move. Level 13 for Edge, the champion, as he closes in on the last floor.
Oh, it's great to have so many curious people. The questions keep coming in fast and furious, and of course, hit us up in the Discord if there's anything we don't get to, so that we get all your questions answered.
Moment of truth coming here now for Edgeworth. He's going to have to dive down here to the eye chest, and we're going to find out. Ooh, another light axe.
It's a second light axe. He would have liked to have that earlier, but he likes to see it. Definitely likes to see that. You can use it in the Earth Cave a little bit later. Equipable for his other fighter, should he choose to resurrect him. Odds are very heavy that this floater is hiding behind this chest. If it's a ribbon, buckle your seatbelts.
If it's not here, then I'm thinking about Marsh Cave. And that's an ugly thought, but it is the floater.
Edgeworth picks up the floater out of the ice cave. We're going to call it the 56-minute mark. We'll see when Lord Fizzlebeef's able to get his floater out of this ice cave, as he's just really one floor behind Edge at this point in time. And Edge is going to take another fight. He's going to take this eye for a ride, it looks like. Maybe a couple quad X shots, something like that. Does he have exit? Does anybody know?
I think he's out of quad X's.
Okay.
He was able to hit it hard enough before, but it was a crit, so I think that caused it to be a little missing. Actually, it does have one quad X yet, so I'm surprised he didn't use it.
Ooh, the eye hits hard though, so I don't know how long you're gonna want to hang out.
Yeah, he's looking at the quad X. He paused over it. The eye's kind of pound Edge a little bit. A lightning 3 is going to take it out. See if he gets out of here after this one. No, he's healing.
A question of he was already invested that much, and he didn't. He knows he can one-shot with quad X, so he's could get one more free here before he leaves.
It is looking like he's going to have to go through this ice cave again. Yep, he is not done yet. He has a couple of more floors to go, and this is where that extra light axe is going to be hugely.
He saves that shot of quad X. I've got to think that Edge is saving that in case he runs into another frost giant. Something that he can't use the light axe against. We'll see. Lord Fizzlebeef is fighting these frost wolves. We know these frost wolves have ice too, but they like to melee attack instead. There's an ice 2 into Fizzlebeef. That's 1. But he gets a lightning 3 off. That's going to wipe him out.
The problem here is that Fizzlebeef has not been to the volcano, and I think he only has 1 ribbon to Edgeworth's.
Another lightning 3 from Edgeworth, trying to take out these mages, closing in, trying to get out of the ice cave. We're nearing the hour mark. You're still not in the air. And the hair on your arms kind of tends to, rise a little bit. Your blood pressure goes up a little bit. An hour into the seating, you're not into the air in a championship match. And you start to worry. You start to react a little bit differently. Edge is the calmest, coolest cucumber of the bunch, but it makes you think a little bit. Another question from chat, Trenton GL. Ribbons, what do they do? Ribbons, in general, the answer is they protect you from elemental attacks. Ice 3, Ice 2, Bane, Zap. What they do not protect against are stun effects, Stun Touch, Death Touch, or non-elemental skills and spells. Trance is non-elemental. A ribbon will not protect you against trance. Nuclear is another one as well.
Ribbon's just so valuable to us in any given run. It's one of the things we absolutely want at least one of, preferably 2. But anytime you have to go into Temple of Fiends Revisited, if you're not doing it with a ribbon, it feels very uncomfortable. I'm a little curious what path Edge will take to turn in the floater, and I know that question sounds weird, but because of extended open progression, he can actually sail straight there in the canoe. On the other hand, there's less encounters on the ship than there is on the canoe, so this should be a little faster.
Lord Fizzlebeef has picked up his floater at the 1 hour mark. So that was, I think Edgeworth got it at 56. It's about 4 minutes.
Yep, just about 3.5, 4 minutes difference now between our runners. Edgeworth is going to go ahead and cash in that floater and raise the airship out of the death.
I don't think Edge actually has the tail right now. I think he has to go back and get it to do class change, but he's certainly incentivized to do so now.
Question from Chronoquarium in chat. Can he class change right now? Well, you got to get the tail, like Trenton just said, and then you have to fly to the Cardia Islands and visit Bahamut, show him the tail, prove your courage, and he will grant you the class promotion. His 2 fighters will turn into knights, his white mage into a white wizard, and his black mage into a black wizard.
Even without the weapon to necessarily do it with. I like doing the class change for the defense purposes right now. You've got the opal armor, the Aegis shield. That to me is enough value to go ahead and do the class change. Warp
there's
Fire
level 1
3, Brack, what a shop.
Great play from Edgeworth, picks up the warp. Now he's going to be able to go and do that waterfall that LordFIzzlebeef struggled with just a little bit. Took him time, no question. He's going to be able to go in there, ravage through, use the warp, and get out of there. It's going to save him time from what LordFIzzlebeef, his opponent, did earlier in the match.
Also of note, in that white magic shop is Ruse sitting at level 1, and so there's a real chance that those knights are going to be able to learn Ruse and gain themselves some defensive abilities, which is going to pay huge dividends going down the stretch in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Those gold bracelets available at a bargain price. Under
30,000
gold for the best defense your mages are going to get.
He's setting up. He's going to class change next. You can see what he's doing. He bought steel armor for his soon-to-be knight. He got the gold bracelets as well. He just bought a cat claw.
Love it.
You guys talked about it earlier, Maya.
Well, we haven't found much to swing other than a light axe at this point, and the cat claw is going to outstrip that a little bit. There's life sitting at level 2. That's also very nice to see. These knights, once they class change, are going to just be tank.
And
that's
Edgeworth
also
has
really good
2
news
of
for
them.
LordFIzzlebeef with the red mages. He ran the risk of getting blocked out of having life available. Because of where it falls, he's going to have 3 people who can use it.
Coming up in just a little bit, maybe a little bit less than an hour from now, we'd like to remind you, Warmech is required. Warmech caused Elastoid a whole bunch of problems in the match earlier. Elastoid was in line right with Edgeworth the whole way, trying to win the previous knockout match. Could not get through Warmech. He fought him 3 or 4 times. Going to be required. That's coming up. That could be a potential roadblock. Meanwhile, LordFIzzlebeef is headed to the Ryukon Desert. He's going to get in the air. We'll see where he goes with his starship. Yeah, airship Stargazer.
Question in chat, what is the average time for each of these matches? That's going to vary wildly based on the flags. Our averages today, we've done 3 hours and we've done 2.5 hours. So on this flag set, our average today is 2 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think 2 hours is a lightning seed for this flag set right now. I think we're probably looking closer at something to 2:15, 2:30 is probably going to be a winning time. Well, the reason we don't know that yet is because of Clamp required Warmech sitting up at the top of the Sky Castle can be a real roadblock. Anything in Temple of Fiends Revisited can be a roadblock. And don't forget about Kraken 1 and Carry 1. They've been just evil in these flags as well.
Speaking of finds, Edgeworth has found a second opal armor. And if there's anything that could trump that, it might be the Bane sword.
Right next to it. It was right there.
The Bane sword, without weapons fixes on, is probably the best equivalent of what you could call the Vorpal sword. Wow, the dragon armor! The best defensive armor for a knight.
This is very
great.
different from what we saw all day. Still, and no sign of a Mazmoon. We can't really use the Vorpal in this situation. We know the Adamant is still out there, but the dragon armor and another opal armor advantage Edgeworth with his party composition.
Yeah, I'm still looking for something to swing at the end of the game. Light Axe maybe can get this done. Cat Claws maybe can get this done. But really, we would love to find the Adamant so that we can find Excalibur, which is probably one of the best guaranteed... It is the best guaranteed weapon you're going to find in this flag set, if you can dig the Adamant.
LordFIzzlebeef's going to find those as well. He's in the Cardi Islands. Both players in the Cardi Islands soaking up some free stuff. You can see it on the right side of your screen. Edgeworth going through his defensive inventory. 2 ribbons, an opal armor, an Aegis shield, a dragon armor. Gold bracelets were for sale. He dumping the steel armor that he's got. Edgeworth is very set up very well for a potential endgame. Right now he's hovering around level 14.
Also of note, I think we have hit 15 key items at this point, and so both of our runners are after they do their chains for their incentive items, will be able to double up their experience to 3.6 times the normal rate, which means that grinds are on the table.
Look at the long pause from Lord Fizzlebeef from the left side of your screen. He's going back directly to his magic, doing the math. Level 2 white magic, invisibility 2. Look at the pause. What am I going to do now? Because that was life at 2, right?
Yep,
Before-
life is sitting
level
at 2. Yep.
What am I going to do? Look at him. It's a conundrum. He's going with Invis 2 on at least one of them. He's going for Invis 2 on both, and he's going to go for life on the night in the future. That's going to be Lord Fizzlebeef's play.
There's a lot of sense to that. You're counting on the knight's durability. When only one party member survives, it's a lot more likely to be a knight than a red wizard.
You know what else was at level 2? Cure 4.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering, did Fizzlebeef see the other magic shop with life and everything in it yet?
Let me throw one more piece of bad news in while we're contemplating that. The knight has a maximum of 4 spell charges. He could very easily be short party members going into chaos on the basis of that alone.
Now, all eyes on Fizzlebeef here. Now, he may reset out of this. Yep, he's got a real issue now.
I remember at a match I played against Lord Fizzlebeef in the spring tournament. He was in a conundrum like this with heal potions, and he doesn't want to make that type of mistake. It's almost a good situation to be that's bad. Almost. At least they're there, not level 8 like previously where Fast was there. Speaking of Fast, have we seen Fast? 6? Level 6 I bet my notes as, so. That's going to be it's going to be Black Wizard for sure, and the Red Wizard can only learn 1 slot in level 6 Black Magic.
There was a question that went by asking if our players are running with any kind of speed boost. They are. There's several things that have been built into the randomizer to speed up the gameplay, which allow us to play it much faster than just the vanilla game. And that's a little more comprehensive than I want to get into here, but needless to say, there's a lot of options.
Fizzlebeef is going to go ahead and take it like he played it. He's going to keep the casts of Invis 2 and probably pick up life on the night once he class changes. But he also doesn't know where the tail is yet. And we know that the tail is not easy to dig out.
Again, Fizzlebeef pauses right before enters the volcano, checks his magic. He's still trying to figure that out. It looks like he's going to jump into the volcano. The tail is here. It's a little out of the way if he goes that way. He's getting warmer, getting hot a little bit in the volcano. We'll see where Lord Fizzlebeef goes. If he picks up that tail, he's going to be very happy.
This chest is way out of the way. Let's see if he does this.
Edgeworth translates his slab one step closer to picking up his chime to enter the Mirage Tower. We'll have to make a visit to Lefane to do that. Lord Fizzlebeef's going that way. We know the fires have zap. Hopefully that doesn't deter him. He's headed his way towards the loose tail in this hairpin chest.
He's got the ribbons and he's got levels, so I don't think he's gonna get wiped out by zap. And that's the biggest thing. He just had to get away with one. Got away with all. He's got the tail. He's got a lot of that same great equipment that Edgeworth has found, but not as many people to use it on because he only brought the one knight.
Edgeworth is making his way directly to Lefane. He's going to pick up his chime. No orbs lit, Maya. We're over an hour. Tough seed, tough design, been playing all day. Warmex required. Do you even consider going towards that Mirage Tower or Floating Fortress at this point?
You know, I've found pretty much everything I'm looking for between the two runners at this point, so I don't know if I can answer that. But my sense is no. I don't think I'd go to Mirage right now. I found pretty much I'm looking for.
Lord Fizzlebeef is about to pick up, I believe, the Power Gauntlet and a ribbon. I know
I
there's a
think if
ribbon.
there's one takeaway these runners have from the earlier flag sets is that there is a lot of value in that high-level knight. Thank you so much for the support of Speed Gaming as that sub comes in. We're glad to see them supported for all the great work they do. I think we've seen the value of that high-level knight so much that at some point they're testing the waters, looking for where they can gain those levels from. Because I say in these flags that it's been pretty well proven we need them.
Edgeworth has learned the language of Lefane. He has picked up his chime. He's going to head directly to the last magic shop. Remember, magic shops are shuffled. I don't know what else. Probably not too much else left. Maybe like a Cure 3. There's a wall at level 1. Add that to what LordFIzzlebeef would have to think about. He's going to take the wall for the knights on one trip.
LordFIzzlebeef looking like he's going to start his dive of the volcano. This is where the gloves come off, starting at this point for this flag set. I lost a level 41 fighter wearing steel armor to carry 1. She meleeed me 3 times and I was dead. It was 850 hit points that she dealt to me. And this is generally a boss that you don't have to respect as much. So we're going to have to see what Carrie has in store for us today.
That Carrie, she's an easy lover. She'll get a hold on you, believe it.
She was not having it.
LordFIzzlebeef gets his light axe. He's going to continue clearing this. Edgeworth is going to the Mirage Tower. Does he have the cube? He's checking chests, looking for the adamant?
Probably just checking chests at this point. I mean, again, we really have not found a great weapon to swing yet, and he might want to find something that he wants to grind with. Light axe could do it in a pinch, but you're probably not going to want to take that into any.
Gets ambushed by a chimera. He's moving. He's going to fire a quad axe if he can get it. Doesn't get the initiative. There's a Masmode.
Wow.
Finally, it's showed up. It hasn't shown up all day. Edgeworth, the champion, makes a move, goes into the Mirage Tower without the cube, and digs up a Masmode. By far the best weapon in the game in this flag design.
So in this flag set, Masmune shows up around 60% of the time by my calculations. And that's if you can find it. And so this is a wonderful pickup for Edgeworth. He is on a roll, and he's going immediately to Volcano.
Agamas, Maya?
Yeah, I have to think so. You have Masmoon, maybe Red Dragon. You can check them both here.
These Agamas, though, might be a little high on their HP, but that's certainly something that would be advantage Masumi, and Fizzlebeef passes on them. It's also good to check the Red Dragon while you're here. He's kind of a forgotten enemy that can roll low and be really good experience.
This fight down here with Carrie, if Fizzlebeef is going to take it, is not going to be a gimme at the levels that he is at right now.
These Agamas over 200 HP, might even be closer to 300. They are over 300 actually.
With LordFIzzlebeef having Quadex in his back pocket, I see why he's going to do this. I'm assuming he's going to go after Carrie. I would think so. And only because of Quadex, I think that LordFIzzlebeef gets through this fairly easily. But you just can't trust Carrie. She'll get a hold on you, believe it.
The other consideration here is that if you do kill Carrie off, then you can grind freely and stick around in the volcano for a little bit longer. You don't necessarily have.
The Red Dragon was a little more cooperative than the Agamas, at least in the brief glimpse we got.
I see a comment from Nerum World in chat saying, man, I hope the randomizers can fix how awful it is to use potions in this game. That is a bone of contention in our community. Some of us would like it to be fixed. Others of us think, fast menuing is a skill. And so right now, that is not a flag that we can switch on or off. You've got to do your potions one at a time.
Got to do them one at a time. Your ability to set up your menuing is important. You'll actually intentionally try and adjust where you have it by using tents, cabins, keeping low numbers of those so that you can move the heal potions to that first column whenever possible.
Ouch.
1 hour, 16 minutes in. Both players are on the carry floor. On the fire floor, the Fiend. LordFizzlebeef is the first there. His hold misses. He's already lost his red mage. Carry strikes the fighter for over 200 damage, and a hold misses.
Watch out, I was worried about this.
This is trouble. There's a second power gauntlet. LordFizzlebeef he's gonna power gauntlet again and try to cure for his fighter. Carry gets initiative and obliterates the fighter. And the cure 4 misses. Can the hold back up? It can. The hold hits. Carrie's attack has been halted and she's been paralyzed. Another Invis 2. He's down to the red mage and the black mage. Edgeworth much better prepared for this fight on the right side of your screen. Oh my, LordFizzlebeef trying to get to that quad X he can't get. He's going to try to quake her. That's ineffective. Meanwhile, Edgeworth starts the attack on Carrie. 3 hits, 8 damage. Oh my, and Carrie knocks out the White Wizard of Edgeworth. Dual carries. Another Invis 2 for LordFizzlebeef. Raising his evasion some more. There's some more tempering. Edgeworth is starting to adjust. He fires the Mazmoon for 359. Carrie tries to fight back. Oh,
Quake
wow.
worked.
LordFizzlebeef gets through a complete and total logjam. He's the first to light an orb. Right behind him is Edgeworth. Again, much more prepared for that fight. He lights his first orb. Trenton, LordFizzlebeef, he got through. That's what matters, but that was dangerous.
All it takes is one.
I love this flag set. Can I just say?
Edgeworth loves having that Masamune right now as he hit Gary for 700 damage.
This is what clamped bosses look like in Final Fantasy Randomizer. The regular enemies are at 33% to 300%, but you clamp the bosses at 100 to 230%, and you have a butt-clenching good time trying to get through Carry 1, and I promise you, Kraken 1 will probably have something fun up his tentacles as well.
Speaking of butt-clenching, that was Quake that got through for LordFizzlebeef. Fell into crack. LordFizzlebeef took out Carry 1. Job well done. Meanwhile, Edgeworth is headed toward the waterfall area to potentially pick up his cube. He's got Warp in hand. We'll see what LordFizzlebeef does next. He does the class change. Power Gauntlet, Dragon Armor, Aegis Shield. His 2 ribbons. He's caught up to Edgeworth now. I gotta think a little bit of an advantage to Edgeworth. Not a lead, but his position, given that he's got that Mazmoon and its overpowering value in this flag set design, really does give him an advantage.
It's especially what you do with it. Okay, he's got this Mazmoon. He got through Carry with it. If Fizzlebeef had died to Carry with it, that would have been a tremendous advantage that the Masamune gave you. Is Edge able to find something that he's killing with that Masamune so much easier than Fizzlebeef can kill something and get a bunch of levels from? Talked about it earlier. We've seen the value today in that high-level knight. In fact, Maya, you played 2 rounds of this. If you can remember, what was the lowest level you beat the game at?
For this flag set, I think I have ground a knight up to... Boy, I beat it at level 29 once with a knight, but I would absolutely not go below that. I know Fizzlebeef in a practice was able to skate through, I think, with all of his party members at about level 24 or so. But I think you're going to want to take one or both of your knights up to a high level because all of these bosses coming down the line are going to hit like freight trains.
Well, I said in the last seed that Kraken hit approximately as hard as a rocket-powered truck.
Yeah, in one of my practice runs, we ran into a 13-hit Stone Touch Kraken 1 that just put all of our racers on a complete halt for about 45 minutes trying to figure out what...
Edgeworth here in Waterfall, where he's catching up on some unfinished business. Purchased the bottle. Did he get the Oxyel already? I think he did.
LordFizzlebeef went to Melmond. Left, turned back around. I believe he's translating his slab.
There's Zozo Melmond in action again.
There's the great Dr. Oon. You hand him a slab, and all of a sudden, you learn the language of the Lefanish. Edgeworth has done this already. He's got his chime in hand. That chime leads to the Mirage Tower. It is absolutely required to enter the Mirage Tower. After that, you have to have the cube. You use that to get into the floating fortress to attempt to light your air orb. What we have not seen is the adamant, however. The Mazmoon is located in the Mirage Tower. It's very accessible. The champion Edgeworth has it right side of your screen. The quicker LordFizzlebeef can get that into his hands, the better his chances will be.
So, Trenton, my question for you, since you watched this first in the previous race and then the one before this, as a spectator, what have you seen that have been strategies that the winning runners have employed down the stretch?
You know, it's really about awareness. It's seeing what's that information that's available to everybody, but something about it sticks out to you more. One of our winning runners in the last seed saw that the Agamas were unrunnable, which meant no ambushes, and low HP, which meant they were very good for killing, and got level 34 or 5, I think, on a night. That paid off. Another runner found out that the blue dragons were actually very friendly for killing, and gained a bunch of their levels by doing that. It's not just going past a fight, but maybe learning what information is available from it.
Edgeworth will be very happy to see that power bonk. That'll be something that'll be super useful towards the end. Edgeworth, as far as gear is going, is probably pretty happy with where he's at this point. Now it's just going to be a matter of levels and hoping that there's not a...
I mean, after those first 2 seeds, if he's not happy with this equipment, there is no happy.
Right?
Yeah, I think he is too. And Edgeworth, just like Trenton talked about, one of the best adjusters, adjusting to the situation and adapting accordingly. You saw LordFizzlebeef do it against Carrie, got the job done. Having those 2 knights, Dragon Armor and Opal Armor, a Power Gauntlet, he's got a Mazmoon as well. We'll see how far he wants to take it, given that he's finally got some power like he hasn't had all day.
Yeah, just think about this for LordFizzlebeef. He pulls off that Quake. We're amused and whatnot. How many runners would have attempted it? How many people would have just reached into the bag of tricks and said, I'll take Lit 3 for the damage instead of Quake for the chance to win?
I will be completely honest. That's exactly what I would have done. Quake was not on my radar in any way, shape, or form. And so that's LordFizzlebeef. If I can steal a quote from our friend Will Cleosis, showing off a, quote, veteran move, end quote, to kill.
You know what? We've called a lot of these matches. Maya, you were the first voice that I ever heard. Trenton, I've listened to you so much and patterned myself after you guys. I don't think I've ever seen a better play. Ever. In all the matches that I've called or the matches that I've watched. That is the best play I've ever seen made.
And you know, what makes it a great play is that it gave you a chance. And it's something I've harped on probably about as long as I've called these randomizer matches. You can employ a lot of different strategies, but you need to make sure the strategy that you're using has a chance to work. It was not a high percentage play by LordFizzlebeef, but it was a chance, and in this case it worked. And you could have just reset out and gone back into the dungeon and tried it all over again, writing that one off and saying, I'll save a few seconds. But no, it was that 1% chance, 2% chance that this is just over right now.
Felinio's asking in chat, what is special about Quake in that situation? Quake is an instant death spell that is generally used for lower level enemies or level enemies with lower MDef. Carrie is one of the bosses that might, on the outside chance, have a shot at that working. And that encounter was going nowhere for LordFizzlebeef very quickly. And so it was a bit of a Hail Mary pass, and it worked beautifully.
Level 19 for LordFizzlebeef, as he's going to clear on his way to the Mermaid. Did not choose to go to the Mirage Tower. He's looking for a Mazmoon. He's looking for an Adamant. Meanwhile, Edgeworth went the other way. He's headed towards Kraken, sees a Vorpal. He's going back for it. Attaboy, Edge. He knows what to do.
Let's see if he
Drop
drops
it.
it. No.
See?
No. Misclick. Edgeworth doesn't misclick. We don't do that. But once again, the Vorpal weapons fixes are off. The Vorpal is like its original game. It's about Worth the Silver Sword. It's just a really beautiful one.
All right. All eyes on Edgeworth now as he nears the abode of Kraken. And we will see whether or not this seed has something in store for Edgeworth or not.
I've got to think the strategy will be a power gauntlet in the first round, an attack in the second round with a Masmoon, and then a third round quad X shot. If I've studied Edgeworth enough, which I think I have, we'll see if he goes for that. But again, much like Carrie and Maya's talked about it, this guy's not to be messed around with. I know it's Kraken 1, and he can be problematic, but in this flag design, no walk in the park. It's not the best Calamari you're ever going to have. Edgeworth is already rearranging his characters in preparation. When the White Wizard on top, hesitating just a little bit, he's going to use Ruse with the White Wizard. He's just going to attack and bring a fast up, so he's going to change it. There's the Masmoon 210. He got 2 hits out of it with a Ruse. That's good. That fighter is ignited.
Door glitch showed up there for Fizzlebeef.
Paralysis from the hold on the Black Wizard's not going to matter. Already got the fast off. There's 4 hits from the Masmoon for 435 and a free round for Edgeworth. Unrunnable Sahag fight for LordFIzzlebeef. He's on the other side of the Sea Shrine.
Question in chat about a silly chaos fight. I think what you're referring to is the alternate final boss flag. One of them that I think you're thinking of specifically is just one of the 4 or 5 options, but that will not be today. We will just have normal chaos.
That was 11 hits.
Oof. Edgeworth is so deep into Kraken. We don't think it's going to matter. There's another Masmoon strike, 209.
High evade as well.
Yeah, he only got 1 hit out of that fasted Masmoon. But Kraken's... Yeah.
Getting to the point you might try Quad X, although not if the Black Mage is asleep.
There's another strike from the Masmoon, 348 isn't enough. Let's see if Edge goes for that Quad X. A fade, an attack, and he's going to fire a nuke instead. The fade hits for 138 and it's enough. So we're nearing the 90-minute mark. Edgeworth lights his second orb.
Well, it took a while to find the setup and get in action, but now the progress starts happening. We have access to the rod if they've not picked it up yet.
This will be finding a white shirt
very
with the mermaid.
now.
There's a white shirt in the mermaids. Edgeworth, that's off the beaten path. He's not going back to that area. Edgeworth will probably not have that for the remainder of this match.
Well, those Ankylos prove that
Ouch.
today they're more than just shell.
Quad X is ineffective after a big strike from the Masmoon. Those Ankylos, not messing around. Level 18 for Edgeworth. LordFIzzlebeef does have a slight level lead. He's right around level 20 as he re-enters the Sea Shrine, and Edgeworth is entering the Mirage Tower. He's got the cube this time.
I think I just realized what Edge is doing. I think he wants to down the White Mage too, and just 2-man strat this to try and get the levels for Warmech.
Yeah, we might be looking at a blue dragon grind here.
Yeah.
Mhm. This musical interlude brought to you by Edgeworth.
I must say.
Welcome to Speed Gaming and Poke Night with Edgeworth. As he's lost his White Wizard, he's down to the 2-man. We'll see if he takes... Can you dance, Trenton? I think you can dance.
I'm gonna pass on that question. Fizzlebeef found the Zeus Gauntlet, and for Sea Shrine, having Zeus Gauntlet and Thor's Hammer quite good. It'll get you through most of the encounters for
I
no
don't see
spell
how much of
charges.
a jerk this guy is.
We're doing a live listen-in with Edgeworth as he works on his Blue Dragon preparation. Hopefully he'll keep this PG.
Let me go
please.
Little bit of insight. We actually heard Edgeworth say, let's take a look at this guy. So that is what he's setting up for, and he's already doing it. Look at that. He switched around his party members. He's got the knight in the bottom. He's going to take a look at the blue dragon.
Oh,
Oh boy.
that is a low HP. If Quad X worked, this is very doable with a solo Masamune. That is an outstanding piece of news that Edge had to be happy the moment he saw Quad X work. 200 damage is enough to one-shot
Wow.
this blue dragon.
We're going to be here for a little while. Edgeworth is going to be a target level. Trenton, he's got a Masmoon, definitely 24. The next, that's for 5 hits on the Masmoon for a night. It's level 35 for a 6th hit. Is that too much time? Is that out of the realm?
No, this is killing way too easy. This is the dream. This is just too free not to take it.
A question from Ice3 Water in chat. What does Quad X mean? Quad X is an insta-kill spell. It's a death elemental attack. It will wipe away any enemy that has 300 or less hit points, assuming that that enemy does not have death immunity. There are very few enemies with death immunity in the game. Chaos is one. The aforementioned Nightmares is one as well. And it was actually originally called KILL. It was called the Kill Spell when it originally came out in Japan. It was changed when it was ported over here to the United States to Quad X, and it has the same function of essentially erasing an enemy.
In chat, they said they never saw the game in the NES version. It was level 8 Lefane. You had to walk through that gap in the wall to the hidden magic shop to be able to pick it up.
What was the other spell down there? Was it Life 2? You were checking?
Yeah, I think Life 2 was there.
Yeah. As Edgeworth continues his pounding of the blue dragon, there's going to be no more blue dragons left in the world, and Edgeworth done with them. LordFIzzlebeef's making his way.
The knight back to the number 1 spot so that he could do the heal potions faster. As I say that.
As he does it. LordFIzzlebeef making his way towards Kraken. We know Kraken, I think he rolled 11 hits, Maya? So
Yeah,
he's
I
got some
saw
punch.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised that chat doesn't have any blue dragon facts for us today, as we're doing a blue dragon.
Honestly, what I'm really curious about is, does Edge walk these levels out and save them? That to me is the biggest question at this point. Do you push on, take on Wormek, or do you take the safety and try and get the lives saved?
Did he pick up the life spells? Because they're night learnable. He did. There it is.
Got it. Yeah.
He's got one. So what Edge will do is he'll resurrect the White Wizard when he's ready with his life spell, and then the White Wizard can resurrect whoever else that they want with their life spells as well. That's what Edgeworth just checked in his menu.
Yeah, I would like that a lot, especially with the exit spell. It's a whole lot less time consumed to save outside and walk back through the first 2 levels that are not very long to get back to this point than it is to die to Wormek and lose your entire grind.
The clock is ticking. You can hear it. There is Wormek required. Wormek's caused trouble all day for both of these players and all the other entrants in this one-day knockout tournament designed by Ikben Maya. From the idea, Trenton, that you wanted to go back to, like a 144 version of Final Fantasy Randomizer. Once again, we're at 2.5. That's at finalfantasyrandomizer.com. Links to our Discord are there as well if you are interested in playing or finding out some of the features, anything more about them. That's certainly available if you want to play. Have at it, because that's what I started doing before I even joined the Discord, and I had so much fun. LordFIzzlebeef has lit his second orb.
Rob Draven has the best blue dragon fact so far. Blue dragon fact: they aren't actually blue; they happen to be teal.
That's what it says on their flight license.
We'd like to thank our sister broadcast partner, Randomania, hosted the match before this that got Lord Fizzlebeef and Edgeworth into this finals. They are the final two standing of the knockout tournament. We'd like to thank Zardia behind the scenes, everything you do in the community certainly as well. Denwu, a rookie, one of our ducklings, helping out with tracking, helping us out behind the scenes. Certainly Ip and Maya joining me, as well as Trit and JL. I'm the infectious Wucleosis. Absolute honor to be here on Speed Gaming with Mr. Broadstone, Oasis, and everyone else who makes this happen right here on this Sunday evening as we attempt to crown our inaugural one-day tournament champion. We are down to two. Is it Lord Fizzlebeef or is it Edgeworth? We think Edgeworth has a lead right now, Triton, based on gear levels and really a grasp on this seat.
I commented earlier that an advantage becomes a lead based on what you do with it. Edge has had this Masamune for well over 20-30 minutes now. Now he's turned it into the endgame levels on his knights, something that Fizzlebeef has not been able to do in the same amount of time. That's where a lead is. As soon as the save goes off that locks in those levels for this knight, that's a solid lead for Edgeworth.
Edgeworth starting to use the life spells. What did he get to? He's leaving. He did 35. That's the 6th hit on the Masmoon that we talked about on the night he used the life. He's using exit. Maya, do you step on the gas here? Are you ready to go? Are you still checking chests? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, I'm too busy horrified by Lord Fizzlebeef killing a Tyro, masquerading as a steak. Edgeworth is ready to go. He has the levels on one of his knights now to be able to go ahead and challenge the end of this game. You get a 2-for-1 at the top of this dungeon. You've got a clamped required war mech that can be positively evil at the top of this. And then once you get through that, you can't sleep on Tiamat 1, who comes, it's a 1-2 punch, one right after the next. But yeah, he's ready. I don't think you need to check any more chests.
It's got 2 ribbons, dragon armor, opal armor. It's got a power gauntlet as well. Lord Fizzlebeef right there in equipment, minus the Masmoon, which is so overpowering in this flag set design. I've got to wonder, something that hasn't popped up quite yet, like a death touch. Now, that could be on a Great Peed, like we talked about earlier. It could pop up a little bit later. It could be on waters. I haven't quite seen those. We don't know. That could be a factor coming up later in this match as well.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways that the game can wreck your perfectly good strategies. Make no mistake about that. I think Edge is going to do what I like to call go mode chess checks. And there's certain things that are either just plentiful enough or on the way enough that you check them in, regardless of being in go mode. See, like, there, and this is me being more conservative than Edgeworth, I would have veered to the right side and gotten a bunch of treasures over there. Main reason being is you could pick up a better weapon for that second night.
Edgeworth having none of that. He whips through the first floor, he goes through the star room, he's checking what we call the greed chest on the left side, finds absolutely nothing, and he's moving on to the teleporter maze.
There's also stuff like defense sword, white shirt. Those are the kinds of things you'd really want to find that he does not have. Fun fact, this is actually not a maze. It's something you don't realize as a kid, but it's stationary. It's a, I don't know what it is. It's 3x3 grid, something like that. A 4x4, one or the other. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a long night.
Double nacho fight for Edgeworth on his way toward that required war mech. Good fight, he's going to take it. Lord Fizzlebeef making his way to the Mirage Tower. Runs into a high HP Ankleo. The Quad X ain't even going to work. Fires the Quad X, it's ineffective. He found that out real quick.
Question in chat, is there monster in a box in FF1? It's actually reversed. The monster is in front of the box.
Here we are. There's good old Warmech on Edgeworth's screen.
Warmech standing in the way of Edgeworth trying to light his third orb. Edge is starting to heal. Let's watch him if he rearranges his party.
I gotta think Sid's going to the front.
Fizzlebeef's going to find that
Mazmoon.
Mazmoon. Yep, he's going to be very happy. Edgeworth getting set up. Hasta la vista.
Stop, baby. There it is. Edgeworth taking on Warmech. Edge is his killer. In the bottom row, Mazmoon in hand. We don't know anything about Warmech quite yet other than he's clamped. He's got at least 1,000 HP. Edgeworth gets the fast off with initiative. He's got to be happy about that, and an invis too. LordFIzzlebeef about to pick up his Mazmoon. There's a strike from the Mazmoon. It hits really hard. 521, and Warmech only has fire 2. That's good news, and that's bad news. Let's see what happens with round 2. Edgeworth getting great initiative, gets off a temper, and another invis too. Edgeworth looking really good. We're at 1 hour, 41 minutes, 6:53. Edgeworth destroys Warmech, disassembles him, and took him down. Maya, we only saw one, fire 2 or whatever it was. Good news and bad news?
Yeah, good news and bad news. Good news for Edgeworth that he did that grind because the other knight was only plinking away for 1 damage at a time. And so Mazmoon and some relatively high levels looked like that made the difference in that fight. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we have not seen from those second level Temple of Fiends Revisited bosses that we need to watch out for now. Where's Zap? Where's Bane? Where are the nukes? Where's the nuclear? All of that good stuff was not seen there.
If LordFIzzlebeef, who just picked up his Mazmoon, steps on it, I think he can get himself back in this match.
Yeah, the difference here is really only about 4 minutes. It depends whether or not Fizzlebeef wants to do a grind or if he was going to try to Hail Mary this.
Poison smoke from Edgeworth takes out Tiamat. That's 3 orbs. We'll see what LordFIzzlebeef does. He's level 23, 24 on his warriors now. Edgeworth has got his rod in hand. He's going to head towards the Earth Cave and go through there as fast as he can.
Gotta finish the Earth Cave. If there's any spell shopping you haven't done yet, definitely want to get that done.
LordFIzzlebeef is about to get the news that this blue dragon is very weak. No, he's not. Now, this tells me that he might be stepping on it. He needs to do this. We'll see if he checks any chests here, but he bypassed the blue dragon. Didn't get the information of how weak it was.
The difference between Fizzlebeef and Edgeworth here is that Fizzlebeef has 3 characters that can cast nuke, and so he may be gambling that he can nuke his way past.
What an incredible piece of information to miss out on, though. I mean, even if you don't use that fight, to not have the piece of information that you could use that fight. Now, if he takes a wipe to Warmech, I'm sure he'll go back and try the Blue Dragon, but as it stands, if he gets past an easy Warmech and Tiamat without finding out how good that Blue Dragon is, that could be big.
So a loss of information. What we do know is we saw Edgeworth attack Warmech for about 521 and then like 653, and Warmech just fell apart into nuts and bolts. If Fizzlebeef gets through there, he's going to get the levels. He might again step on it to try to catch up for Edgeworth, who's really stepping on it, on his way to try and light his 4th orb.
These slimes are juicy. He's going to think, ooh, does he want to use a nuke charge?
He thought about it. He's going to use Lightning 3. He's going to try to poison smoke him. It's going to be pretty ineffective, though. You want to use some sort of fire, like a fire 3 against the slimes, because that's what does the most damage. The Lightning 3s will only do right around 50. Edgeworth closing in on Lich, the Fiend of the Earth, not checking any more chests. 1 hour, 45 minutes.
This is going to be a great example of why runners like to do Earth Cave last. Just everything is trivial. You can get through it so much easier. And faster.
LordFIzzlebeef healing up. He knows that Warmech is coming. He's got the Mazmoon. He's right around level 22, 23. A little bit of variance. He's low 20s for this fight. We know that Warmech's first spell isn't that much. It was Lightning 2 or Fire 2 or Ice 2. We didn't see any skills. We didn't really see much of an attack.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if what Warmech's melee looks like, because if it starts punching nuke casters, this is going to get real hairy real fast.
Fizzlebeef settles on the double Nacho fight to get experience. Does not get a level before Warmech. He's going to heal first, though. Meanwhile, Edgeworth just continues plugging along. He steps away from Lich, who isn't going to last one round. Hasta la vista, baby, says Warmech. It's Warmech and Lord Fizzlebeef. For Lord Fizzlebeef's third orb, he's going defensive, it looks like. Uh-oh. Nuclear, straight out the... Oh, he lost the fast. Black Wizard's gone. Gets off a couple of Invis 2s.
Throw out the nukes. You're not going to out-heal this.
Lord Fizzlebeef's going to have to attack. We know that Warmech has about, we think, 1,200 HP. He's going to heal. He's going to Cure 4 all 3 of his Light Warriors. We'll see what Warmech does. It's the Fire 2. That's a gift, and the Cure 4 gets off after the Fire 2. That's another gift, round 3. Edgeworth is off buying spells, preparing for his assault on the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Lord Fizzlebeef still battling with Warmech. There's Lightning 2. A Power Gauntlet where Fizzlebeef starts to adjust a little bit. His evasion is up there. You gotta attack, Triton. Is he gonna fire the nukes? No, he's not.
Well,
he's gonna get max evasion.
He's well defended, but nuclear is more scary than how hard Warmech hits to me.
That's another Fire 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, once you start swinging with hit, this should work out pretty well, but how long is that going to take? And
there's the attack. Here we go. Lord Fizzlebeef's gonna... Oh, there's crack. And he's got at least 2 ribbons that misses. Dual nuke shots incoming. 222. 129. Here comes a big strike from the Mazmoon. Only 375 after the Tempers. He missed the fast. He lost the Black Wizard. Here comes another one. 495 is good. Lord Fizzlebeef takes out Warmech and gets a whole bunch of levels. Meanwhile, Edgeworth continues his shopping. He's headed towards the Temple of Fiends Revisited soon.
That demonstrated an incredible amount of patience on Lord Fizzlebeef's side. I don't know how many casts of Invis 2 he took before he finally went and attacked. That was another great display by Fizzlebeef.
I think he did 5 or 6, which would put him at max evasion that you can reach. 6 Invis 2s is going to do the job.
Lord Fizzlebeef fires Bracket Tiamat. It's ineffective. How about a Bane Sword? Poison Smoke, and down goes Tiamat. Lord Fizzlebeef steps away, and he lights his third orb. Meanwhile, Edge is continuing to do his shopping. Nearing 1 hour 50 minutes. Edgeworth has all his orbs lit. He's taking the time, though. He's headed back for that life. It's in the upper magic shops area. I don't think it's this one. It was Ruse. He wants Ruse here, and I think life is up in the top. Lord Fizzlebeef still has to do the Earth Cave. Estimate on how long that would take. Triton, 3.5 minutes? Are we still at that 4-minute lead mark?
I would say it's actually a greater lead than that. I don't know if Fizzlebeef is going to go try and get levels at this point. I don't think you can. I think you've got to just kind of gamble that this is a Topher you're able to get through with the lower levels with the 3 mages. I kind of think that's the strategy he set up for when he picked this party. But, without a question, Edgeworth is going to be capable of clearing out a lot more of the possibilities in Topher than Fizzlebeef is.
That's a level 36 night, I think it was, on Edgeworth. He has entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited 1 hour 50 minutes. He is 2,000 years in the past with a very strong knight. Armor, attack. He's got fast, he's got tempers, he's got lives. He's in very good shape to potentially take out the Temple of Fiends Revisited in one shot. Just behind him, just a couple minutes, is the challenger to Edgeworth defending his 2018 Spring Tournament title. It is Lord Fizzlebeef. They've been playing all day. They've been going at it. We got down to these two. Right now, Edgeworth, and it's his game to win.
We, the viewers, have a little bit more information than either of the runners do. Fizzlebeef knows that Warmech had a couple Lit 2s, a couple Fire 2s, 1 nuclear, and then we saw crack. And so we are still looking for other nuclears. A nuker, heaven help us, a double nuke can also show up at this point.
We know that Warmack had at least one nuclear. We don't know how much more he had, though, because he didn't go back to the abilities. He kind of rolled away from those. He was favoring the spells. So, in those situations, it's entirely possible he's got more than one of the nuclears. He could have other of the ugly skills. He showed crack at one point. So, those were out there, but he just didn't use a lot of them.
Some of the other spells that are out there that can really be really debilitating. Slow 2 can cripple you. Cure 4 is out there in that pool. You've got Inferno, Swirl. Those are other skills. We know that one nuclear is out. There's 4 nuclears total. There's 3 nukes total in a pool. It's a pool that's shared by Chaos, the 4 Fiends Revisited fights, and Warmack himself. And we did not see much from Warmack other than that nuclear.
I want to touch on this real fast. Just one of the differences that Edgeworth's level grind did was that Warmack fight. How long did it take LordFIzzlebeef to go through that? He went through 5-6 rounds, I think.
Yeah,
and Edge, I believe, was 2.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That Warmack fight probably took another 90 seconds longer than Edgeworth's did. And, you know, those little things do add up. That's why this is a 4-minute lead instead of a 2-minute.
From what I've seen of Edgeworth in my studying of him, what he will do is he will attack with that Mazmoon in the first round, and more than likely go for a Quad X in the second round, hoping the Mazmoon does enough damage, and he will actually probably skip the fast on the first or second Fiend. We'll see what he does.
So here's Lich 2 on screen. That was 4 hits for only... Oh, wow. Well, there's a nuke. Well, we found a nuke everywhere. And Lich 2 has a little bit of HP as well. That was 4 hits for 4 damage. Lich ending up being a little spicy today. But the Knights with Life are going to bring those mages back up.
Oh, there we go. I ended up muting my microphone.
Edge is as powerful as I've ever seen him in a match. Right? What if?
And we are rolling right now into Carry 2 on Edgeworth's side. LordFIzzlebeef is setting up and has joined us in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Still about 3 to 4 minutes behind.
Yeah, almost right at 4 minutes. Difference on the entries.
There's a fade shot.
3 hits, 3 damage from the top Knight. There's a nuke for 191. There's a lightning 3 out of. Edge passes on Quad X. No, he goes back to Quad X. There's the fade. This is classic Edgeworth with the Quad X. Ineffective.
Wow. That is a shocking amount of HP.
Backup strategies, the Mazmoon, 228. Does he go back to the Quad X? I would think so. It's in that slot. That seconds he is. Another Quad X from Edgeworth. Classic Edgeworth. Erased to terminated. Down goes Carry 2.
I would wager that carry was at or near max HP rolled. That was a lot for Carry 2.
It was about an hour ago, Maya, when you said Edgeworth was ahead by about 4 minutes. 4 minutes is basically the difference right now. A little bit of the waterfall where Edge had the warp charge, where the LordFIzzlebeef have to walk it out. Just a few little things separating these runners. The advantage that Edgeworth had with the Mazmoon for about a half hour before LordFIzzlebeef was able to find it. Edgeworth used that time, and he's got a Knight that is ready to take on Kraken 2.
Kraken 2, well respected in this community. It has very much often the ability to just one-shot any party member round 1 if given the opportunity. Will Kraken get that opportunity? He moves Edge to the final spot to have the lower chance of being hit. Only about a 12.5% chance of Kraken targeting Edge.
He got 3 hits off on the Mazmoon initially, and he gets a free round with Ink, the Ink skill. And he gets the fast off. That's all he wanted from his sacrificial lamb. The Light Warrior, the Black Wizard, did his job. Now he'll probably try to fire some Tempers as well. He's going to chip with a Thor. Oh gosh, 13 hits and 1,000 damage. But 1,000 damage back from Edge. Oh boy, Thor's Hammer, round 3. Attack? Maya, oh, there it is. 484 is not enough though. Thor's Hammer for 54. Here comes Kraken. It's Thunder. Doesn't do much at all.
This fight is taking too long for Edgeworth. Yeah, I was really worried about that. Look out.
Oh. Kraken obliterates the... He's got to make something happen. He's got to fire the Fades or something. That's his main damage dealer. His main damage dealer is gone. Meanwhile, LordFIzzlebeef is on his tail. There's a ruse. He's adjusting. This is how... Oh, gosh. The White Wizard's gone. He's going to try to evade, max evade. Oh, 177. Another... No! Kraken just poison touches and obliterates the knight. He's down to 31 HP. There's an Ink. Kraken's messing with it, but he's got Cure 4. He's back to 486. Kraken misses. Edge starts to attack and he gets through with 78 damage. Oh, wow.
Chad, please clip that. That is the most Razor Edge getting past Kraken 2 I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like it, Maya.
That was...
It was the Cat Claw crit. He picked it up because of the higher crit rate with weapons fixes off. That subtle difference, just knowing that information, using it to your advantage, and Edgeworth pulls that one out. He got life on his knight, didn't skip on it, and recovers, and the run continues.
His immediate adjustment to the ruse, he used the Cat Claw and it's critical hits.
Has a Cat Claw ever been more useful and had its moment, just like that one? That was just incredible.
You know, Anne Vakeen just said it in chat. I can't think of a better term. Clutch. That's how you do it. That's why Edgeworth was the champion. That's how he does this. That's why he is in the driver's seat now about to take on Tiamat 2. Do we see a repeat? Is there a nukes? Are there nuclears? What about that slow 2? What about that Cure 4? Edgeworth looks like he's going for a very similar strategy. There's the Cat Claw, does nothing. How about the Mazmoon? 4 hits, 368's a good sign, but the Black Wizard's gone. He did not get the fast.
Fizzlebeef took some time to grind levels at the start of Temple of Fiends Revisited. Now he begins the dive proper. If you want to count that against him, that makes it about a 7-minute lead for Edgeworth on the actual dive into Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Edgeworth's thinking about his strategies. He's going to switch to the Power Gauntlet. Again, attacks with the Cat Claw. There's the Cure 4. Okay. How many more spells does Tiamat have is the question. LordFIzzlebeef is preparing for this fight. Looks like he's going for it. But you can see Edge pausing. You see him pausing over his spells. What do I do? What do I save? He again goes back to the Power Gauntlet as we near the 2-hour mark. Damage poison from Tiamat isn't going to do much. Edgeworth has ribbons. He's adjusting now to heal potions into Edge. There's the Mazmoon again for only 79 in 1 hit. Lightning 2 from Tiamat. Does she have anything else behind that?
This high evade is very concerning.
Tiamat misses the White Wizard. The Cat Claw misses and a heal potion and another Power Gauntlet. Tick, tick, tick. 2 hours coming up. No dot duns. You know Edgeworth is keeping an eye on that. There's stop, and it completely misses. Edgeworth attacks again with the Mazmoon, 444. Cat Claw, critical hit for 58. LordFIzzlebeef 4 floors behind.
The damage you're looking for here, it's still a little shy of what you'd like to see, knowing Cure 4 is in the rotation.
660's not enough. Edge continues the assault. 475 can't get it done. The Cat Claw can't do it, and he continues to heal. Tiamat misses. Edgeworth gets stronger and stronger as this fight goes along. Another strike from the Mazmoon for 265. That's no good. Tiamat with a rub is no good. 65 from the Cat Claw again.
The Cat Claw strats.
Cat Claw MVP.
against Edgeworth as he steps away from Chaos. Meanwhile, Lord Fizzlebeef is on the earth floor, starting to heal up. He's about to take on Lich 2. Another encounter for Edgeworth. Poogle special. Zombie Dragon's just annoying Edge. He loses the Black Wizard. Edge is on. 2 hours, 1 minute. He's in the Chamber of the Ultimate Fiend Chaos. Edge is the defending champion of the 2018 Spring Tournament. He wants this on his mantle as well. He's played all day. Can he do it again? Lord Fizzlebeef, 4 or 5 floors behind it, takes care of Lich 2. Edgeworth rearranging his party. He's got to get that fast off, maybe some tempers.
Will Cleosis, do your thing. Take us home, okay?
Speed Gaming fans, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans, Ich bin Maya, Trenton GL, Dangwoo, and Zardia with you right here on Speed Gaming One-Day Tournament Challenge. It's Edgeworth going for the victory again. The man of destiny, now we call him champion. We call him champion again. He goes with an Invis too, and he's going to try to get that fast off. No, he's going back through on Edge, and he's going to ruse himself. He's going to try to raise that evasion. He gets the fast off. That's what he wanted. There's a zap that's going to completely miss his party. The Cat Claw up top, 4 hits, 74. That just gave Edge information against this Chaos. Edge probably likes seeing that. Does he adjust to attack? Let's see. Looking at his spells, he's just going to forget it. He's going to fast the Cat Claw and another ruse. Cat Claw for MVP. Chaos attacks and doesn't do too much, another ruse. Edgeworth is in very good shape in this fight to successfully win this one-day tournament created by Ich bin Maya and the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. It was announced a week ago. Edgeworth trained. I watched him. 10 hits, 403 from the Mazmoon. Chaos is going after the Cat Claw wielder. Cat Claw wielder's been the MVP so far, taking off fiends left, right, and center. The White Wizard is really out of this. There's a Lightning 2 from Chaos. No slow 2. Edgeworth fires a Cure 4 into the Cat Claw. How about a Mazmoon for 11 hits and 600 damage? Is this the final round? 2 hours, 3 minutes. Is this it? A nice 2 from Chaos, and here comes Edgeworth, the champion, with the Mazmoon. 10 hits, 963 is not enough. The Cat Claw from behind, 54 damage, not enough. We move on to another round. There's a zap. Chaos may have circled his spell list, and that's good news for Edgeworth. 9 hits, 510 is not enough. That's not good news. But there's 184 from the Cat Claw. This Chaos will not go down. Another Cat Claw attack. 77, no. Chaos obliterates the White Wizard. White Wizard's gone. Edgeworth, 457 for the Mazmoon. Still isn't enough. Chaos will not go down. Another temper. How about this time, Edgeworth? 632 is enough. Edgeworth is the one-day Final Fantasy Randomizer champion yet again. GG's and congratulations. 2 hours, 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Chat, get out your GG's and congratulate this gentleman.
It has been a ride to get here. Over 9 hours to get to this moment. And who would have thought that Cat Claw would have gotten us past 2 of the final 3 bosses?
I really think the difference between these 2 racers was finding Masamune a little bit earlier on Edgeworth's side than Lord Fizzlebeef. I think that was the real difference between the 2.5 minutes that this is coming down to. Fizzlebeef is about to visit Kraken, so let's not forget this. But all congratulations to Edgeworth. For not just winning this race, but also like enduring, like Trenton said, 9+ hours of Final Fantasy Randomizer action. And these seeds are not gentle, just like you saw.
Fizzlebeef went through a lot to get here too. Knows that it's just short, and now knows that this Kraken is not to be taken lightly.
And kablamo, down goes 1 Red Wizard.
Red Wizard's
Much
gone.
different setup for Fizzlebeef than Edgeworth.
676, Lord Fizzlebeef takes out Kraken 2. Lord Fizzlebeef not giving up one bit. About to take on Tiamat 2. Once again, our finishing time for our winner, Edgeworth, was 2:03:39. Right now, we're just past the 2 hour, 5 minute mark. We're working on getting Edgeworth in here as his opponent, Lord Fizzlebeef, attempts to finish this out. It's been a long day. Lord Fizzlebeef wants this. You know he does. We estimated he was behind about 4 minutes, mostly the entire match. as he keeps casting Invis 2, very similar to what Edgeworth did into Tiamat 2. Switches over to the Power Gauntlet, and Temper, he's buffing himself. He's not going to attack quite yet. He's got the Knight in the top slot. There's a Lightning 2, he gets a Fast Off. Another Power Gauntlet. His Knight isn't quite the levels that Edgeworth was. We'll see if that affects anything. He's starting to attack. Here comes 3 nuke shots. Here comes the first one. That's 216. How about a strike from the Mazmoon for 644? Another nuke from LordFIzzlebeef for $110. I eat this! Tiamat 2 for another one for 138. Tiamat fires back with the damage poison. She tried to do that to Edgeworth too. Edgeworth shrugged it off. More attack. Here come more nukes. LordFIzzlebeef gonna turn up the heat. 696 from the Mazmoon is no good. He loses 2 warriors to paralysis and a nuke for 164, and one of his Black Wizard got back up though. He's moving on to Quad Axe. No, he doesn't need it. 882 from the Knight in the top slot gets LordFIzzlebeef to level 28, and he's on to the Chamber of the Ultimate Fiend.
You can definitely see a difference in party composition in that LordFIzzlebeef, although he was behind entering into Temple of Fiends Revisited, is making quicker work of these fiends down the stretch because he has more access to those high-level nuke spells. And so, were there another dungeon or two in this game? FizzleBeef might have caught up.
Can Lord
Edgeworth did
FizzleBeef
join us
finish
here
this?
real quick, so let me just say GG to him.
GG Edgeworth, congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
Can LordFIzzlebeef finish out this great day of Final Fantasy Randomizer action? We started this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We moved on to Randomania, our sister broadcast partner. We end up tonight for the championship match right here on Speed Gaming. Ich Ben Maya, Triton GL, Dengwu, myself, Wukliosis, the infectious one, and Zardia as well behind the scenes, bringing you this great show to you, the fans of Speed Gaming, and to you, the fans of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We have determined a champion. It is Edgeworth. Dominated, played a great game. Can LordFIzzlebeef take this home with him? Chaos misses. LordFIzzlebeef has his fast out, and he's got his evasion as high as he can get it. He's moving on to a power gauntlet, and he's going to fast. There's the zap. It's completely ineffective. Can LordFIzzlebeef take advantage of it? There's a temper. Another power gauntlet. Remember, fans, LordFIzzlebeef does know that he has not won the match. He has already congratulated Edgeworth behind the scenes. He's trying to finish this out as well. A great showing from LordFIzzlebeef all day, moving himself up in the ranks, and we all knew he was capable of this. So let's have LordFIzzlebeef finish this guy off. Chaos misses. LordFIzzlebeef starts the attack. Nuke, a nuke. Another attack. Here he comes. Here comes the offense. 264. Chaos misses. Another nuke from LordFIzzlebeef. 278. And another one. Chaos. 171. An attack from the Mazmoon. 1143 damage after 9 hits isn't quite enough. We know Chaos has a ton of hit points. LordFIzzlebeef continues the assault for 129. 193. LordFIzzlebeef for 278. How about the Mazmoon? Can it clear it up? 1196 is not enough. We're deep. We're nearing 4,000 HP. LordFIzzlebeef has got to know that Chaos is on his last legs. He knows he's on his one knee. There's the Mazmoon. Does this finish it? 969 damage. GG's and congratulations, LordFIzzlebeef. The runner-up in our one-day tournament, 2 hours, 9 minutes, 17 seconds.
Great effort by both runners. And Edgeworth, clearly what we've learned out of today is that the cat claw is totally overpowered.
Don't sleep on it. It's really good.
So Edgeworth, you've been racing for 9 hours now. Talk to me a little bit about endurance and setting yourself up for success when you're doing 3 back-to-back seeds like this. How do you reset and think about the races as they come?
I took a sheet of paper and actually took notes this time around because after the 3rd race, everything was just going to be blurring together. And, I almost forgot I did forget where Ruse was in Invis 2. That took me a while. And after clearing C, I wrote, "Get the rod" in big letters on the sheet of paper.
Edge, it's Will. GG's and congratulations. I've got a couple questions, but the main one I want to ask is, take us through the Kraken 2 fight. He knocks you down, he does to you in your adjustments in your thought process to make happen. however in the world you made that happen.
I had Ruse and Cure 4, so if I could get a couple of them off, it was just basically it came down to turn order at that point, and I got lucky.
We're also joined in chat by LordFIzzlebeef. Congratulations on a runner-up performance here. And if I recall correctly, I believe second place was very kind to you throughout the entire day. Were you second every race?
Correct. Second in all 3 races.
Well, and congratulations. Talk to me about party composition. You went with a knight, a couple red mages, and a black mage. How do you think that worked for you?
I think it worked exactly how I wanted it to. I wanted access to some white magic, hoping for access to life. I had theoretical access to both of them, except I did my spells wrong. And I actually got access to nuke this time, which was nice. Yeah, red mage. Sorry, I've done 3 of these today, and I'm having trouble forming words at this point.
We all are. I've only done 2 of these back to back, but Maya ran the first 2, then he called this one.
Edge, when you raided the Cardia Islands, you already had an opal armor, you found another opal armor, you found a dragon armor. Pretty well set. Without the cube, you went to the Mirage Tower, and you got the Mazmoon about 35 minutes before your opponent did. What were you looking for there? Was it the Adamant? Was it the Mazmoon? Why did you make that play without the cube?
I didn't have anything as far as a weapon goes. I think I was swinging light axes around at that point, and I had Cat Claws. And, Cat Claw's good once you get some levels behind it, but when you're lower level, you just can't do the job with it. So I think I was, level 16 around that time. So I just needed a weapon, and I didn't really want to commit to a dungeon without getting one first. And that was basically all of my options were bottom of volcano, sea shrine, and sky. And so the first floor Mirage is pretty much... I mean, I could have gone back down in a marsh too, but I didn't want to do that. So it's that location was the least effort that I could check before moving on to someplace else. Probably going to Sea Shrine and looting mermaids.
You both gave us some incredible moments that I think you're going to have to watch the VOD back to believe what happened to your opponent. But Fizzlebeef, the power of Quake.
The power of Quake. Believe in it sometimes.
You went into that fight, Beef, and we speculated that we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and it started turning real bad, real fast. Your adjustment, and could you believe that it worked?
My adjustment was literally the last straw I could grab, and I also can't believe it worked, but it was literally the only thing I had left at that point. Because go ahead. The theory going into the fight was, well, I just stack up in Viz 2 and everything will be great. And then down goes one in Viz 2 caster, and then down goes the guy that's supposed to be swinging the weapon. And it's like, well, now what?
It was actually quite interesting because, Lord Fizzlebeef, both you and your opponent Edgeworth were fighting Carry 1 at the same exact time. And
really?
Yes. And you were on the ropes, and Edge had the Mazmoon at that time. So it was a little bit of a different fight. You both got through. It was quite impressive. Congratulations. It was great. A little bit of update on the match. We speculated right around the 1 hour mark that Edge had about a 4-minute lead. And Edge, you entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited at 1 hour 50 minutes. Lord Fizzlebeef, 1 hour 54. So that stayed pretty much consistent. It was close. It was tight. Even with all the spreading out from both of you players. Valiant effort from both of you. Impressive to get here and battle it out in this one-day tournament. So congratulations and good games to both of you.
I have to assume Edge wiped in Topher because I took a grind that I kind of feel like I didn't need to.
No, I did a grind to 35.
Oh, okay. Oh, 35?
Yeah, he did that against the Blue Dragon. You got out of that fight without seeing how low HP it was.
It was just so hard to hit. I just couldn't be bothered.
So we're sunsetting this one-day tournament, and I think it's been a incredible success. And hopefully, we will see more of these in the future. Probably not with this flag set, however. I think we've all had our fill of pain seeds for a little bit. But as we start to wrap things up here, for the both of you, do you want to regale us with any stories of the horrifying things you have seen as you practiced for this one-day tournament?
I mean, the last 3 seeds were horrifying enough. Like, it's funny. All my practice that I did for it, or whenever I played them, they went perfectly fine, and then everything went, yeah.
So I practiced this seed twice. The first time, I got a 230. The second time, I forfeit. The first time, I went up to War Mech. I had 1 ribbon on the knight, and he turned 1 baned, and successfully killed the other 3 members of the party, and then I died. So then I fought my way all the way back up to Mirage. I was level like 20 at this point, and trying to get levels as I go, but I had no resources. Get all the way to War Mech, turn 1 Bane, kills the other 3 members of the party again. And that's when I stopped.
Yeah, I don't know. These are definitely, like, the seeds, I think, force you to make interesting decisions, but they're also pretty brutal. Because of the boss clamping, the worst case scenarios are absolutely terrifying. So
it really makes you make the most out of a lot less than you're probably comfortable with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and just like the Quake as an example, you got to play exactly your outs in order to succeed. And
Well, it has been quite an eventful day. We have seen some incredible things. This seed really gave us the most friendly equipment, and it gave us some of the most memorable moments. Thank you both for an incredible show. Start with you, FizzleBeef. Any final thoughts?
Shoutouts to Quadex, best spell in the game.
Edgeworth, what about you?
Just thanks to Speed Gaming for setting us up, and GG to FizzleBeef. I knew this was going to be a pretty close match, so did not disappoint. GG to you, and I look forward to you beating me up in the acing seeds in the future.
So for my part, I'll go next. Thanks to everybody that hung out in Twitch chat. It is great to have hundreds of people watching this wonderful Final Fantasy randomizer. My shout outs go to the dev team. That's Entroper, that's Nits, that's Meridian, and that's all the rest of them that have taken this old game that I can no longer play the vanilla version of anymore because of all of the wonderful speed hacks, life improvements, and just plain fun of using this randomizer. This is just a great community, and the devs are at the top of that. And so thank you for that. Trenton, I think our little idea of hosting a one-day tournament was your brainchild, was a huge success. What do you say we do this again in the near future? I'm thinking maybe something like a shard hunt, maybe some light entrance shuffling, something along those lines.
Yeah, some good fun flags, maybe with a short topher where we can avoid 3-hour plus seeds.
No, Maya. I think you need to race an exhibition race one of these nights. Maybe these flags with 4 thieves.
Oh God. I'm going to politely disconnect now.
We had so much of the dev team hanging out here, including Entroper Zero is in chat, and a big shout out to him. He started all this, and we're so grateful for his efforts. We're so grateful for Speed Gaming and for all of you who chose to spend this part of your Sunday evening with us. It was great to see this format debuted tonight. Look forward to more of it. I think the Speed Gaming host is going to end up hitting Speed Gaming 2, where they've got Zelda 1 randomizer going on. Always great to see more randomizer action on display. It's been a lot of fun, and wish everybody a good night. Take it home, Will.
A real honor for me. Thank you. My thank yous go to yourself, Trenton GL, and Ikbin Maya. An absolute honor to work with you two that brought me here. And you two guys are the best. Behind the scenes, Deng Wu, all the players that were involved in this, in the initial knockout rounds, Braxis Muse, Lem the Cat, Tarnin was in this as well. Hats off to you. Congratulations once again to Edgeworth. He showed why he's a premier elite player in this game. Someday I'm going to get you, Edge. But most of all, I'd like to thank the fans. You can hear my voice. We can't do this without you. For Speed Gaming, my name is Will Cleosis. For Triton GL, Ikbed Maya, Zardia, Dengmu, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening.